Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Tuesday. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours and plenty to get into today. It's been made official by both the University of Memphis and the University of Missouri that Laird Veach will take over as their athletic director. We had a lot of NBA action last night. 3 games last night, a handful of games as well tonight. Baseball on last night. We're only a couple of days away from the NFL draft. We've finally gotten to that point where ESPN is draft, and some more drafts. So a lot of fun things to get into. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm well. All eyes on Motown for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it should be a lot of fun. Anything the NFL does, it creates a lot of attention because it's the NFL.
That's right. That's right.
And it will do it. You're right about the news. Both parties, everybody understands. Everybody knew really at this time yesterday what was transpiring. And like we talked about yesterday, thank you
absolutely.
to Laird Veach for his successor, whomever it should be, male, female, black, white, local, national, veteran of athletics department or first-time AD, what should be their mission statement?
Ooh, I don't know.
What should they? What is goal number one?
Goal number one is get into a power conference.
That is it.
Yeah.
And at the end of their tenure, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, 8 years, 6 bits a dollar.
Yeah.
If they haven't, they have failed.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That's got to be objective number one. And I think I think the university has to go out there and basically, when they're going through this interview process, say, look, we're bringing you in because that is the next step, and hopefully they target a candidate that they feel confident can do what's necessary to make that happen.
Laird has to be the last AD that was not in a conference that matters.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, that's huge, and it's what we've been talking about for years now of this program trying to get into that next tier, that higher tier, and hopefully they can go out and find somebody that can get them there.
It's really hard to believe with all the conference realignment just in the last 3 years, post-COVID, that the Tigers haven't landed somewhere.
It is, and I think that's what, it seems like every time it kind of comes up, it's, Memphis is right there as a target. This conference is targeting Memphis, and they like Memphis, and then, it kind of falls through. And so I'm with you. I mean, you'd think that they would be there, but just haven't yet. And so I think on one side, whatever side of the coin you want to sit on, I think there are some people that are saying, well, if it hasn't happened now, it's never going to happen, and they kind of feel so beaten down by it. And then there's other people that say, well, they've been so high every time that next time there is conference realignment, they've got to be there. They're going to be a team that gets in. And so, I mean, we'll see.
There's been 2 times that I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Once to the Big 12, around 17 or 18.
Sure.
Pre-COVID, and last summer, if it hadn't been for the absolute, just evaporation of the Pac-12, and they helped fold themselves.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is Memphis was there, and we talk about it all the time. Of they were right there, and a whole conference had to completely tumble for it not to happen. So I think you got to feel good about it, but you definitely have to let that athletic director know coming in that that's the expectation. Bringing you in is you're going to get us there. You are going to be the AD that gets the University of Memphis into a power conference, and so it shouldn't be too much when they come in.
To that person that the powers that be tell that to. This is your charge.
Yeah.
What if their answer is, well, if you hadn't done it by now, why is it falling on me?
Well, I mean, I say next candidate.
Next person.
Thank you for coming in. Next person, let's talk.
It has to be done. I know they've got to work with FedEx. Obviously, got to do things around town, but you've got to get in this conference because really, with all this movement the last few years, it's hard to believe the Tigers didn't land somewhere in something better than this, especially with the Big 12 taking on a lot of what they took on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's still
we know SMU wrote a big check.
Sure, yeah, and not taking any money for X amount of years.
Wrote a big check and not taking a big check.
You don't hear about that much. But yeah, no, it's weird. But it'll be interesting to see kind of where the search goes and some of the names that come out of it. But it was a weird day for the University of Memphis yesterday. On one end, you have Laird Veach leaving for Missouri. Then we got the news yesterday afternoon about Tyrese Hunter, and then last night, Barako Okogie, the guard from George Mason, ends up committing to the Tigers. A young guy, he's a true freshman last year that's going to come in and be a depth guy. And I think the hope is that you keep him around. He kind of learns the system next year, and you tell him after that you're our guy, and he sticks around and becomes kind of a long-term point guard option. But I mean, just a little bit of everything going on for Memphis.
Great day on roster building.
Sure.
We think.
Well, yeah.
We think that every year.
Exactly.
On roster building news.
Yeah. But I think we've got enough guards. That's what I was telling somebody this morning. I said, guards seem to be covered. Let's start focusing on the front court, getting those bigs in, and
the Kentucky
and big
man, the signing.
Sure. Yeah, I think he's going to be on a visit this weekend.
Is Musa Cisse the safety valve out there if you don't get the big you really want?
I mean, could be, but haven't we seen
enough of him at three places to know that he's the same stiff he's been at all three places?
Yeah, and also, I mean, if I'm Musa, I wouldn't want to come back to Memphis. But I guess if that's your best option,
and no,
there,
I'm not saying it after the fact. I said it after the Tigers Ole Miss game last December.
Sure,
he's the same old stiff he's always been.
He is. Not much has changed. So we'll see. I mean, it seemed like he entered the portal, and a lot of people were saying, "Ooh, you could have you would bring that back together. Bring him back to Memphis." And then that seems like it's fizzled out. But you really haven't heard anything
he adds what?
On his. Rebounding.
Remember,
maybe.
the people had him in the lottery.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people excited about the possibility of Jaden Quintance, and he was committed to Kentucky and a 5-star guy.
He's now passed on Arkansas.
Has now passed on Arkansas. He visited Louisville last week, I believe, and then is going to visit Memphis later this week. He was talking to somebody earlier today and said that Kentucky's still in the mix. So that looks like it's his top 3. And this is a guy that I guess you could compare in terms of what his career will have to be like to Amani Bates, where he's too young, where if he comes to Memphis, he will have to play somewhere collegiately for 2 years. So maybe it's Memphis 2 years, maybe it's like Amani where he comes 1 year and then goes somewhere else, but he will not be eligible for next year's draft, the 2025 draft. He won't be eligible till 2026. So maybe that's a guy that you can bring in. And
did he
and
reclassify?
You know what? I'm going to guess he did, but I have not been following him close enough to know when or if he did. But hopefully maybe you're thinking that's a guy that you can bring in. He plays a role this year, and then he's your main go-to guy that you bring back, and is kind of your David Jones, where we've all been talking about, you're going to bring David Jones back this year. He's the centerpiece for this. Maybe he's the centerpiece for when we're talking offseason next year.
And you said yesterday you're kind of in a mode of it's not going to be with David Jones.
I don't know. I just think the more time, and obviously it's going to be a long waiting game. We knew it was going to be a long waiting game. But with the guards they brought in, I saw somebody yesterday, I don't remember who it was. I think it might have just been a fan that put out their starting 5 for Memphis with what they've already picked up. Had David Jones starting at the 4. David Jones is not going to play the 4. He can't play the 4. He can play a 3. He can play a 2. But I don't think he can play a 4. And so I think that just tells me they're bringing in a lot of guards that are quality guards that can start. And I think a lot of that is, I think they're kind of losing faith in the idea of David Jones coming back and trying to, you don't want to say, all right, we're keeping this big open spot for David Jones, and then late in May, he turns around and says, all right, guys, I'm going to the draft. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go to Spain and play. And then you're going, oh, well, we
have no plan B.
We have to replace a guy that averaged 20 points a game last year and was talked about being one of the best players in the country, and we haven't. And that's a tough hole to fill. But, I mean, he could come back, and that'd be massive. But I just would say right now I'm a little less than 50% in terms of positive on he's going to come back.
I'm trying to remember the time frame from Tom Bowen's exit to Laird being named, and I just don't remember how long Allie Prescott was interim. I think it was over the full course of the 18 season into 19.
Wow.
I think it was like May 18 to October 19. So that's a while, if I remember correctly.
That is a while. Wow.
But had an interim.
Sure,
Didn't go vacant.
Right. And I don't know if
a very capable interim.
Sure. I hope it's not that long for this. I hope they find something quicker than that, because that would be a long time kind of waiting and hoping, especially with all of the momentum that the University of Memphis has right now.
And Laird Veach could be working, according to some reports today, in a very different SEC. I sent that to you. I'm trying to find the exact story. Fly War Eagle, whoever he is.
Okay. Love the name.
Reported today, Big Ten will definitely have a Texas school by 2026, and his speculation is Texas A&M.
Interesting.
That is.
And there are no SEC schedules for football past 25.
Really?
Just 24 and 25's all it's already made up.
Interesting. So I have the story pulled up that you sent me from FlyWarEagle.com.
Mr. FlyWarEagle.
So here's what it says. According to longtime college football radio host Greg Swaim's Big Ten source in Chicago, the Big Ten will have, like you said, a Texas team by 2026 season. And his hunch is that Texas A&M will be the university that's making the jump. And here's the quote from Greg. Received an email 10 minutes ago from our Chicago Big Ten source that said, quote, the Big Ten will definitely have a Texas school by 2026. Swaim prefaced before saying, as we reported months ago, Texas A&M and the Big Ten have been having serious third-party talks for over 6 months. Why would Texas A&M want to join the Big Ten?
I think they're plenty chapped at Texas coming in.
That's a good reason.
They loved that liberation. That in back-to-back weekends, Ole Miss played them both in 2012. Non-conference against Texas in Oxford.
Right.
And blasted Ole Miss. I mean, Mac Brown could have scored 100 that night. Hugh Freeze's first year. The very next weekend played A&M in their first SEC game.
Right.
Both crowds were great.
Sure.
Both weekends were great for two very different styles and reasons. But the A&M people, they were so proud to be doing something rid of Texas, of UT, of the Burnt Orange. And you could feel it among their fans.
Sure.
And they kind of got that forced on them. Every vote in the SEC ends up being unanimous.
Sure.
It may not be when they first start counting yays and nays, but when they go public with every vote, whether to have the conference basketball tournament in Nashville or the baseball tournament at Hoover Met, they say 14-0 or 12-0, whatever it was. Some were speculating that A&M would hold out to 13-1, and there was just no way they were doing it.
Right.
I mean, Sankey has those votes before he goes public with anything. And he had those, and they didn't like that jawboning.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Here's another quote from this same story.
The Notre Dame aspect.
Yes, exactly. Who are the next two teams to join the Big Ten and make the Big 20? Our terrific Chicago source tells us that he's hearing it's very likely that it will be Notre Dame, who has an invite, and Texas A&M, as the Big Ten wants to get into Texas, and the Aggies are very unhappy with the addition of the Longhorns. Once again, he reiterates that will not be any invites to non-AAU member teams. So doesn't believe FSU or Clemson will get invitations. Then also adds, certainly not expecting it soon, but Texas A&M to the Big Ten rumor does have legs. More money, no Longhorns, and the Aggies being told they make this move that they will have veto power if Texas tries to move again. So get that veto power in there with the.
So
with
no
the Big
Texas
Ten.
Jumping to the Big Ten
Right.
if A&M could have that blackball. What does all this have to do with the Memphis Tigers? A lot.
Yeah.
Because 2026, it's a blink of an eye.
Oh, absolutely.
We play this football season and the next, and then we're there.
Yeah.
That will come really fast.
Well, it's like
when
when we learned the Texas and OU news, and I mean, here we are. Next time they snap the football, it'll be an SEC
been
team.
past what we all speculated that day.
That was
in July of 21, I didn't think 22. Well, I knew not 21.
Sure.
I didn't think 22. But I thought they would be in by 23 or 24 at the latest.
Yeah.
Well, this is finally, we're around to 24. But really, I thought 23.
Yeah, I did too.
That they would be there, but it was the check was too big for the SEC to write.
Yeah.
And even for, those to get out of Oklahoma and Texas. Here's how it helps the Tigers. Let's say this Mr. Fly War Eagles got everything down just right. Huh. You look up football season 2026, and A&M and Notre Dame are in the Big 20. Man. Well, that leaves the SEC with 15.
Yep.
You need one. Mm-hmm. Probably wouldn't stop at just one. Mm-mm. With them at 20. You'd probably need to get to 18.
Yeah.
Let's say North Carolina, Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. Well, that spot's in the ACC.
Sure.
A lot of them. Mm-hmm. For Memphis to get there.
Sure.
If it's not Virginia Tech, what if state legislators in Oklahoma pushed hard for, hey, take Oklahoma State and SEC?
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of resistance to that. Sure. But what if? Well, it's a spot in the Big 12.
That's right. Wow. So, yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's now would be two conferences that could.
And we're going to have more moves.
Oh, absolutely.
We always do. Mm-hmm. And that's back to, with all this movement, how have the Tigers not landed?
Sure. Yeah.
And they haven't.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always kind of the question of, we ask it every single time there's a move of, okay, when's the next move? And every time somebody says, this kind of feels like it's going to be it, but it's never the end of it. You always get more news, and this one is definitely surprising news.
And Notre Dame to a conference would be
that'd be
groundbreaking.
I mean, that would be unbelievable. I mean, we talk about the Richter scale, and
because that's one of the sports nevers.
Sure.
We're never joining a league.
Yeah, I mean that would break it
for football.
Absolutely. So that will be definitely interesting to keep an eye on over the next couple months, stuff, and see if we get more and more rumors about Texas A&M maybe being on the move. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. Plenty to get to today. At 3:30, Greg Arias from up in Nashville. He'll join us, talk Titans and the NFL draft. Greg's joined us a ton to talk the Titans, one of the great reporters up there in Nashville covering the Titans. So we'll talk about last season, some of the offseason additions for them, but also the draft Thursday night. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball. As no day baseball today, which I kind of hated. We had a day game yesterday on a Monday, which you don't usually see. Tuesday, you usually have one in there at least, but nothing today. A lot of games tonight. Some really good games last night as well, so we'll talk some baseball. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us to talk some college football. 4:30, we'll talk the NBA. Like I mentioned, 3 games last night. We've got a handful tonight as well, so we'll talk about what happened in those games, what to expect for these games tonight. We'll do that at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant will join us to talk the NFL, and it'll be a ton of draft talk. Like I mentioned, only a couple days away from the draft up in Detroit. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending at 5:45. Wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Factory direct pricing is going on right now. Swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens, but only at Family Leisure. 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill. We're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of it. Phone line and text lines 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin phone and text line. And that same number, the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255 that all our guests will appear on. In this hour, brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673. But better yet, stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you will be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at LexusOfMemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be Penny Hardaway and what he is doing with the roster going into next season. Yesterday, Tigers got commitments from Tyrese Hunter from Texas, who has now, this will be his third stop at Memphis, started his career at Iowa State, where he was named the Big 12 Freshman of the Year after a really strong season with them. He then transferred to Texas after a couple of years, both years averaging more than 10 points a game, has been a really good shooter, shot 34% from three last year, so a really good addition for the Tigers. Then last night, we learned Baraka Okogie, the freshman from George Mason, has also committed to University of Memphis. Averaged 8 points per game last night, about 2.5 assists as well, while shooting 46% from the field. So this is a guy that he'll come off the bench, get a couple of minutes, but mainly is the hope to be kind of that future guard. After some of these other guys leave, maybe a couple of them transfer out after next season, or hopefully enter the draft, that he is kind of the next guy up. You teach him the system. You
I like
let
a
him
little
know.
future planning.
I do too, and I know David Cobb was on with Johnny Radio earlier this morning. He said the same thing. You know, he said not just at Memphis, but he thinks there's a lot of places that are kind of longing for kind of that guys that are going to be there for a couple years, where you're not,
guy.
Yeah, I mean, where you're not having to go out there. And Brett, I remember telling you earlier this season, I think the first game I went to this season, guy in front of me, an older gentleman, had written down on a sheet of paper everybody's name, where they came from, their number, because you don't know anybody out there. It's a brand new team every single year. So I do like the idea, bring in somebody young. David Cobb also said that, this isn't a guy that's going to be in
watch those old people at games with their own pen and paper.
Well, that's very true. That is very true. But
I got my
pen. Hey, you never know. But David made a good point. He said that this isn't going to be a guy that he would have in his top 75 transfers that he puts out on CBS Sports. But he said that's not a bad thing, because this is a young guy.
Might be this time next year.
Exactly. Still has developing to do. So he really, really liked the pickup. Then you also got the news from earlier this afternoon that the 5-star forward center Jaden Quintons, he's not going to follow John Calipari to Arkansas. So that means now that door is starting to widen for the Tigers. It came out last week that he really liked the University of Memphis. He wanted to set up a visit. I thought that was just kind of him looking at his options, maybe trying to get one of these schools, Kentucky or Arkansas, to maybe up the price tag, saying, hey, I already took a visit to Louisville. Maybe I'm going to go check out Memphis. But now we know he does not want to follow John Calipari to Arkansas. And that's another guy, I mentioned it to start the show, would be a guy that would come in and he would have to stay in college for 2 years because of his age. So that's a guy that, again, you could have for 2 years. So maybe next year we're talking about pieces to go around Okogie and Quintons, and I think that would be a great development for Penny Hardaway and his staff.
Can Calipari with a straight face say we didn't want him?
No. Nah, 5-star guy. No, absolutely not.
You were going to take him at Kentucky.
Sure. Sure. And the kind of motto, or the everyone was kind of saying after the fact, all these guys are just going to follow Cal from Kentucky to Arkansas. There wasn't any, at his opening press conference, well, we're going to relook at this class that we're bringing in and really, see if we want all of them.
Because then that's saying to Kentucky fans, we missed.
Exactly.
We may have made a mistake.
Yeah. So I definitely think he wanted this guy, and now an opportunity for a big pickup for Memphis' staff.
My top story, the most critical AD hire in University of Memphis history is about to start. Laird Veach, he did a good job. But with all the conference realignment, he failed in getting Memphis out of the AAC and into a league that really matters. The next AD will fail, and fail bigger than ever in history, if they don't deliver on getting Memphis out of the AAC and into a league that matters. Laird did a good job. We said that yesterday. We all say that. But too many are giving him almost A+ grades here. Just imagine that AD that finally lands Memphis in a conference that matters. What grade will that person get?
That's a good question.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's got to be the NBA action we had last night. It started off with another Cavs win over the Magic. It ended up being only a 10-point victory for them, but it never really looked that close. Kind of Cavs took their foot off the gas pedal late in the game, and Magic had some late scores. But then those last two games were the two thrillers of the night. The Knicks beat the 76ers in a wild game where there should have been fouls called, there should have been timeouts given, but neither were the case, and the Knicks score a ton of points and not a ton of time and end up getting a 104-101 win. Now take a series lead of 2-0 as we go to Philly. Huge win for them. And then a late night game, Nuggets and Lakers. Lakers up by more than 20 points.
But LeBron said they got cheated.
Well, that's right. Both games got cheated last night, Knicks and the Lakers. But ultimately, down the stretch, some massive shots, including a Michael Porter Jr. Three, and then the shot at the very end of the game, fading towards the bench. Jamal Murray knocks down the buzzer beater with AD in his face to secure a 101-99
AD in his
win.
face and him in the third row.
That's right. And
He was in the third row,
being
Brett.
crushed under all of the
Over all the players.
I was like, watch out for his ankle. Don't step on his ankle. But no, two really, really fun games last night.
It was my not top story. I hope the Lakers keep that video handy of the banner ceremony of it going up for the in-season tournament because that's all they're going to have from this season. Down 2-0, the one they could have gotten last night, they let get away. The last NBA Finals game that the Lakers played in Los Angeles, remember bubble, and hadn't been to a finals other than that year. The last NBA Finals in LA, well, it wasn't Crypto.com then.
No.
It was Staples.
Sure
14 years ago.
Wow.
2010, June of 2010. And the bubble and the in-season tournament is all they've been able to celebrate since.
Sure has, but hey, they've got those.
Then LeBron cussed us out post-game.
That's right, he sure did. And AD slammed the mic when he was done with his press conference. But hey, they still have those medals like Johnny brought to our attention for the in-season
They do got
tournament.
that.
In a stirring moment.
So it sure was. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking Titans with Greg Arias.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. T-Dot was over here moving a stalled vehicle, and all it did was aggravate that traffic even more on 240 East at Poplar. Again, it's already heavy at times on 240 East between Poplar and Walnut Grove. Traffic's on the increase in that construction from time to time. 55 there around Crump. It's also building 55, making your way southbound across the bridge over from West Memphis. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choates will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choate's special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93 or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choates today at 347-8086 or visit us online at choateshvac.com. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our family leisure studios. We're only a couple of days away from the NFL draft. If you want me to be specific, we're 51 hours, 27 minutes, and 25 seconds away from the start of the NFL
ready,
draft.
isn't he?
Thank you to
Yes,
ESPN
he is.
I'm ready for the draft.
Their ridiculous ticker that's tracking down from
I'm ready
50
for it to get
hours.
back to Nashville.
Sure. No, I am too. But plenty to talk to. Greg Arias joins us from up in Nashville. He's been covering the Titans for a while and nice enough to join us to talk some Titans. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. I got to start off. I know a lot of excitement about the draft, but Nashville got their first taste this year of Will Levis after drafting him last year. What did you think of his first kind of partial season with the Tennessee Titans, and what are some things that you want to see him improve on going into year two?
Well, thanks for having me on. And as far as Levis, I thought it was a pretty good rookie season. he showed us some things. Obviously, the Miami game stands out, the comeback that they were able to make. He's got the moxie, he's got the arm, he's got the physical ability. He's not afraid to take a hit and deliver one, as we saw again in that Miami game where he ran over one of the cornerbacks on a run that really kind of ignited the team that night. So he's got the things that he needs. He just needs more experience. And obviously changing offenses from what they did last year to what, and we don't really know what it's going to look like this year, is going to take some time and be an adjustment for him. But by all accounts, he's been there early and often and working and doing everything he can. He spent time with his receivers, getting out and throwing the football and those kind of things. So he's becoming a leader, doing the things he needs to do, and I think we just need to see him continue to do that and continue to grow and obviously get more experience, which is the key thing at this level. The more experience, the better off he's going to be as time goes on. But you got to fix that offensive line so he can stay upright, too.
And that's what they tried to do last year, and I think it will work with Skoronsky, and they're going to try to do it this year with both Alt, son of legendary NFL player, Skoronsky, grandson of an NFL player. John Alt played forever with the Chiefs. I think it was the only team he was ever with, and it looks like that's who the Titans are going to take to shore up that offensive line. But we're in a changing time for the Titans. Derrick Henry out, Mike Vrabel out. A lot of new with the Titans, isn't it?
Absolutely. So much has changed. Obviously, the big addition to go with DeAndre Hopkins, that of Calvin Ridley, and what would appear to be an offense that wants to throw the football more than what they have in the past. Now, they're still going to run it with Spears and Pollard and perhaps Chestnut or Haskins, depending on who makes the roster in the bottom portion of that. So they'll still do that, but I think they're going to throw the football around a whole lot more than what we've seen of them in the past, and that's why I'm not 100% sold that Alt will be the guy. One, I don't know that he's going to be there. I see the Chargers at 5 could be a potential team to take him, and if that happens, that could change all bets for what the Titans do at 7.
Yeah, drafting offensive linemen, it does nothing for season ticket sales, but it might help with winning that eventually sets off season ticket sales. Do you think there are some fans that are privately hoping we'll get Alt off there, we'll get somebody different?
Well, I think there's some people, and I've even gone as far as to make that prediction on a couple of different things, that I think that if Neighbors or Harrison Jr. are there, either one, the Titans could be tempted to take one of those
now
guys.
That would sell season tickets.
Sure.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. You've got Bill Callahan coming in as the offensive line coach. Of course, his son is the head coach. His son is an offensive-minded coach that likes to throw the football, and Bill Callahan, along with Mike Munchak, are the two 1A, 1B best offensive line coaches in the NFL. And so if Bill Callahan has said, hey, I think we can take X player we've got here already, or maybe we can go sign this guy in free agency and make that work for a year while you go out and take this receiver, because this is a deep receiver class. Mm-hmm. This is a deep offensive tackle class. So there's some thought that the Titans could even potentially at 38, having drafted a receiver at 7, still get a really good tackle to come in at 38 and do it reverse, because maybe next year, and I haven't looked that far ahead to know, I don't know that the receiver class will be as deep and as good into the top 7, where you've got Harrison Jr., you've got Neighbors, you've got Odunze, you've got a couple other guys there that are really special, but those 3 really stand out. And if you've got a chance to get one of those guys that is a difference maker that can score touchdowns, you certainly got to consider it.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly a lot of people, like you already mentioned, thinking that they could go with Alt, go with an offensive lineman with that number 7 pick. We just mentioned receivers. What are some other positions that you think the Titans need to address this weekend in the draft?
Well, I tell you, they're really high from what I've heard on a certain tight end out of Georgia named Brock Bowers.
Sure.
And that's not a bad thing. But now, they're not looking at him at 7, to my understanding. This is a guy that, should they get an offer from, say, Minnesota, just to throw out one of the teams that's a potential, where they offer up their first round to move back this year, they offer up next year's first round, they toss in a third for good measure, which the Titans do not have right now. The Titans could be enticed to fall back to that spot, take Bowers, who is I think a difference maker tight end. He's along the lines of a Travis Kelce to me. Obviously, he's young. He'd have to prove that, but that's the kind of potential this kid possesses. He can split out and play some wide receiver. He can play H-back. He can do a lot of different things. And then you see them come back at 38 and look for that tackle at that point in time if they get enough of a windfall profit to make it worth their time to actually fall back 4, 5, 6 spots.
Talking to Greg Arias, he covers the Titans up in Nashville. I'm curious, you mentioned Tony Pollard earlier, one of the additions for the Titans this offseason. I've seen a lot of people kind of wondering how they'll use both Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears in the backfield together now that Derrick Henry is gone. And I know a lot of people here are curious about that with his time at the University of Memphis. How do you see that backfield working with both Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard?
Well, the plan, as I understand it, and I have not spoken directly with Brian Callahan on this, but I think they're going to use them pretty much the same and try to maybe not 50-50. It'll depend on who's got the hot hand. They may ride Pollard this game because he's got the hot hand. And
like
maybe
Pollard in Dallas.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. What they've got is two guys that are great in space, that can catch the ball out of the backfield, that can run between the tackles. They're not big bruising guys, but they do a lot of things and do a lot of things pretty well. And so when you take one out, put the other one in, you don't lose a whole lot, and you don't have to change the game plan like they did last year when Henry came out and Spears came in, totally two different types of running backs.
And a real contrast from Derrick Henry. Greg, is Derrick Henry the greatest player in Titans history?
He's up there. Obviously, you've got Earl Campbell, you've got Warren Moon, you've got Steve McNair, you've got Derrick Henry. Chris Johnson could
Eddie
get
George.
some run in that as well. He's on the Mount Rushmore, I would say. Had he have stayed and finished his career here, and they had not had offensive line issues the last couple years, I think he might have passed and become the all-time franchise leading rusher. I didn't mention Eddie. I guess Eddie George is up there, obviously, too, with that list of greats. But yeah, I think he's in the top probably 3. I would put him there with Eddie and probably Earl Campbell, the 3 running backs with McNair and Warren Moon, 1B, if you will, just slightly behind, because those running backs just did so much, took so much of a pounding and put up, incredible numbers.
Greg, I always compared him to Earl Campbell, and I even said 2 years ago I thought it was time for the Titans to move away from him while they could still, reap a big benefit, a great harvest from the trade, like the Oilers had to move away from Earl Campbell to the Saints. Did they stay with him a year too long?
I don't know. I think that there was some school of thought that maybe he would give them the hometown discount and come back and be a third down, short yardage kind of back, give you, 10, maybe 12 carries some games 3 or 4 kind of thing. But he wanted to chase the ring. Nobody can blame him for that. And so he went off to Baltimore to try to have a shot at doing that. You could make a case they stayed 1 year too long, but at the same time, they let this guy play out his contract because he is one of the all-time franchise greats, and just a great person on top of that.
Just the last guy in the world you kind of want to get give the organizational shaft to, and they didn't. Did the Titans move away from Vrabel a year too soon?
That's a great question. There's a lot of things that have been reported. There's a lot of things that I've heard off the record and behind the scenes. I don't know exactly what is true about how all that transpired and what is not.
Boy, it all comes out after they leave, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's come out. Like I said, there's been some rumblings and some talk from people inside the building that have said some things that, again, are they 100% true? I don't know, and I'm certainly not going to try to speculate on that. I kind of hated to see him go. I like Vrabel. He was always a fun guy to be around for us. Now, he had his moments during press conferences, but when there wasn't a microphone or a camera in front of his face and you could have a conversation with him, he was really pleasant, really funny. I won't go into the details, but the last conversation I had with him was about Lululemon shorts.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Lord,
yeah, everybody in the building loved him, didn't they?
Well, I won't go as far as to say everybody because I can't really do that. I know that a lot of people did. I'm sure there were probably some that he graded the wrong way because he could be a little confrontational at times. That's the player side of him and the competitor and just kind of the way he was. But I think the majority of people, if you polled everybody that worked in the building during his time there, I would say it's probably a majority that did like him and probably hated to see it happen. But again, I'm not sure of everything that went on, and obviously the owner was the one that had to make that call.
Sure.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the Titans do Thursday night and then into this weekend as we get the entire NFL draft in.
Real quick, Greg, I want to ask you, next time, do you think the Titans are in order to get the draft again, Nashville to host again?
Absolutely.
Was that the greatest days of the franchise in town? I know a Super Bowl, but that wasn't played there. I know some the Music City Miracle there, but was that the ultimate NFL moment?
Yeah, I would have to say it was. I mean, it went over the course of 3 days. There were tons of people. I don't know how familiar your listeners are about Nashville, but on the night of the first round of the draft, the bodies literally, because the stage was right there at Riverfront Park on First Avenue, and it went all the way up to Fifth Avenue with bodies, which is all the way up to Bridgestone Arena. So it was jam-packed, and it was just crazy. The first night especially. The other nights were really good, but that first night was something to behold.
It did. It looked like, I mean, when I turned it on, I went, oh, man, look at Nashville. Way to go. And
yeah, I was standing on the stage. I was standing on the stage before the event actually started, looking back out over it, and it was the biggest sea of people. I've been to Talladega a couple times. I've been to Daytona to some races, but I've never seen a sea of people that in one area, going 5 city blocks up side to side. You couldn't see an open spot of where there was a place to stand anywhere from the stage looking back up those 5 blocks.
Fred Russell would have never recognized that, would he?
Not at all.
Well, it's definitely
Thank you, Greg.
fun. But, yeah, Greg, thanks so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Absolutely. Always glad to do it again. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy the draft.
We
Thanks,
will.
Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg Arias from up in Nashville joining us to talk Titans. It's going to be a big draft for them. A lot of new, a lot of young in that organization, from the team to some of the people in the front office, and now new coach.
And they're like
a big
lot
draft
of those teams in that single-digit first-round picks. Mm-hmm. This draft is not going to fix them.
Right.
This is the first of a couple drafts.
To
get it right.
Right, but certainly, could go out and get a different
Chicago says
maker.
they've got their guy.
Yeah.
Okay, if they do, then when the ESPN jingle rings of our draft starts, that jingle should be ringing within 30 seconds and Goodell reading that card, shouldn't he?
Well, Brett, that's not how television works. You gotta have it drip down, and then you gotta have.
When did Bryant get no fun, John?
You gotta have.
He's no fun,
the
man.
people on set
He
go,
changed, Brett.
Wow, this is taking a really long time. You don't think that there's been some pause in the organization?
We don't need Mel to break it down 17 more times.
That's right.
The draft starts at 7
Yeah.
Central.
I think so.
If they've got their guy, that name should be being called at 7:01 max.
Hey, Brett, I'm with you. Let's get this show on the move.
While we're young.
Hey, they over here. You know how they act. It's gonna be like 20 minutes, and we're waiting. we wait with all the suspense.
Will see ever play a Caleb Williams from college?
Yes, you're gonna see a whole highlight reel.
I remember when I was in high school, I worked at Kroger, and the draft was going on, and so I was working cashier that night, and so I put my phone, I put the draft on, and I put it in like a little spot where nobody could see my phone, but I could see it when we weren't busy, so I could watch the draft. Starts at 7. I think I got off at like 9 or maybe 9. And I mean,
15 picks.
Yeah, half the draft was over, and I was going, all right, well, this is good. I can get home and see the Cowboys pick. It always takes forever, and that's one of the things I hate about
you, Brian. You were at work watching the draft.
I was watching the draft, trying to figure out who was going where. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some baseball.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. What a great time to buy a new or used car or truck and save money at Sunrise. The largest selection in over a year, over 500 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from, an $8 million used car inventory. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Factory rebates up to $6,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Immediate financing available with loans low as 0% on select models. Cars and trucks under $10,000. When it comes to selection and savings, it doesn't get any better than this, partner. Come on in and save some money at Sunrise. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
A good friend of mine often says that golfers are the best athletes. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. Now, I don't want to embarrass Ed by mentioning his name, but if you stop and think about it, he may be right. Just like the best real estate agent may not be who you think. Like a left tackle in football, a golfer hits it hard off the tee. Like a sprinter, the golfer walks down the fairway to reach his ball. Then like a quarterback who wants to connect with a distant target, the golfer hits the ball again, and in my case, again and again and again. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling a home, draft your team by interviewing the players. Find out who will block that offensive lineman from knocking your deal down, and find out about the Shell Bucks option play. When interviewing, call or email me to find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and don't fumble that ball.
Your Memphis Showboats are back in action at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium on Sunday, April 28th at 2 p.m. All game long, we will be celebrating the incredible legacies of Showboats greats Reggie White and Pepper Rogers, and you won't want to miss our tribute at halftime. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at theufl.com. That's theufl.com. Your Memphis Showboats versus the Michigan Panthers, Sunday, April 28th at 2 p.m. Tickets start at just $10. Go Boats!
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. A lot of talk today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday about the NFL draft, but also Major League Baseball going on right now. An interesting night last night, but I did mention yesterday Aaron Boone got ejected. After the game, the umpire doubled down on it. He was like, I'd never eject a manager for something a fan said. And everyone was like, well, we've got video if you want to see
I'm so ready for automated.
Oh, man. Wow. Johnny, this is big. This is massive.
I don't even want him standing out there.
I recall Brett being upset when automated balls and strikes was proposed, and that it was going to be in the
first thing I want to do
very
is
low
break
minors.
that umpire union.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think that's first order of business. But I still, I'm still when I went to and Brett, I hope you see some of it tonight at the Redbirds game. But when they challenge it and they start tapping their head,
to the ABS,
and we see it on the screen, I think everyone should start a slow clap while we're waiting. That speeds up until we get build some anticipation for the call.
And one thing it's done, it's confirmed how good they are.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
especially on that borderline top or bottom of the strike zone pitch. But balls and strikes are all the home plate umpires really doing now.
That's right.
Everything else gets reviewed safe,
sure.
fair, foul.
And it could be everybody in the ballpark knows that it's safer out, and they still want to review it, and we get a 5-minute review. But
that was just awful yesterday by him.
Yeah, it was.
And then really to double
down on it, which is just hilarious.
They're never wrong. There's never any equivocation,
and you're never going to argue with them. It's a weird bunch, I'll tell you that.
It really is.
But
and even if when we go automated, they're still going to be out there.
Yeah.
Why?
That's a good question.
Pigeon going to land on them? What are they doing?
That'd be something. That's a good question. I don't know.
Just there for theatrics?
I guess. Collect paycheck. How about that?
Because of that union.
That's right. Because of that union. But in news that we care about from last night, how about Nolan Gorman talking about him yesterday, tied for the lead in home
last night.
Paul Goldschmidt last night. Some big performances from them to get a
everybody we got
win.
On yesterday.
That's
performed.
right. That's right. How about that?
Lance Lynn kept the Cardinals in it through a lot of pitches.
Again, the pitching's been fine this year. It's been more than fine.
I so love what Atlanta's doing with losing the Cy Young winner.
Yeah,
my preseason Cy Young pick.
Sure.
Losing him on April 7th and still doing what they're doing. Who do you think has the best record in baseball?
The Yankees. I don't know.
Cleveland.
You're kidding.
7-27 baseball.
Wow.
16-6.
Look at Cleveland.
Look at Cleveland.
Isn't that kind of Cleveland, though? I mean, like, nobody ever is like, and they'll have a hot start or something.
Small payroll.
Yeah, they do. But you're right. They play
a lot of times
baseball.
in anonymity, especially this time of year, to the playoff Cavs.
Sure.
Right there by them.
Yeah.
By the ballpark.
That's interesting. How about that? Look at and they're at home against the Red Sox this week. So it'll be a good series for them. Maybe can even improve on that, but the Red Sox have been
first year manager
this year. Yeah, so that's really impressive. But I think some really good games tonight, some really good series that either started last night or are starting tonight. So it should be some really, really good baseball.
You're going to baseball tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to Tigers and Mississippi State tonight.
I'm going to baseball tonight.
Yeah.
Going to the Redbirds game. We got the baseball covered.
Baseball covered. So we'll both have full reports tomorrow from our baseball outings. But let's go ahead, wrap up this hour, and get to a break. When we come back, talking some college football with Brent Beard.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, if you're over 40 feeling like you're falling off in your workouts, career, maybe even in the bedroom, it could be lower testosterone. But you're not alone. In fact, Superstar Hall of Famer Frank Thomas has a secret for you about how to get back your drive with Nugenix Total T.
I did notice after 40 that energy level had dropped dramatically. You want to feel like you've always felt. You want to go home with energy. You want to go to work with energy. And that's what I tell guys. It helps all facets of your life. Nugenix Total T is the real deal. I haven't felt this great in 15 years. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Text TOUR to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TOUR to 321-321. That's TOUR to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or 2024 Tiguan S, or 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
The truly brilliant all-electric EQE SUV from Mercedes-Benz features some of the smartest tech ever to grace four wheels. With Dynamic Select, you can fine-tune hundreds of vehicle settings to precisely match your driving style and in available off-road mode. Transparent hood lets you see through sheet metal to steer clear of bumps and potholes directly beneath you. A 360-degree array of cameras and sensors constantly alert you for danger, while 64 color ambient lighting lets you fully customize the ambience inside the spacious cabin. The EQE SUV is so smart, even the headlamps are thinking. Optional digital light technology projects navigation markings and warnings onto the road ahead as you drive. The vehicle's all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Test drive the EQE SUV today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQE-SUV.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's already a little bit heavy over here on 240 East between Poplar and Walnut Grove, so just be aware that's already starting to slow down over here on this side of town. And we've been watching it slow down also at times on 55 northbound between Macklemore and South Parkway, trying to get through that construction. It was a little bit heavy in the Midtown area a few minutes ago. They're on 40 westbound around Danny Thomas as you make your way back across that Hernando de Soto Bridge, headed back over into West Memphis. Again, westbound was a little bit heavy. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News in Jacksonville to talk some college football. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. And I want to start off, Brett and I talked about this earlier. I don't know if you've seen this story, but there's a story put up earlier today on a Auburn blog that cites Greg Swain saying that there is kind of rumors out there. There is a possibility that Texas A&M could become a member of the Big Ten by 2026 if the Big Ten expanded. What do you make of the idea of Texas A&M, who's obviously not happy that Texas is coming into the SEC, making the move to the Big Ten?
Greetings to you both. I've seen that over the last few weeks. I didn't know how much credence to put in there. Frankly, my goodness, how mad can you be at Texas at some point?
They get mad and stay mad over it.
Well, they
Brent,
do, I guess.
I was a little shocked they had the internet in Auburn. I kid, Auburn fans. I kid.
Yeah. The guys you mentioned, I know they've had a lot of rumors out as of late, but and I thought about this. Realistically, I don't want to be Debbie Downer for this, necessarily, but if you're going to the Big Ten, you're going to add a lot more travel when your rivals are near you. I understand why the Big Ten wanted to do it, because they want to get TV. More in Texas. I understand that. Now, the money's going to be about equal between the two, and that's what it comes down to. For instance,
A&M can't win in any league they're in, never have.
No, and look, I'm going to be off a little bit on the money, but last season they both got around $55 million or so for on the year. Look, if there was a $50 million gap between the two conferences, like there is in the ACC and the Big 12, virtually with the Big 10 and the SEC, I would give that more credence, but I don't. And the other thing is that I need to check on would be, and you guys may know this, is A&M an AAU school? Because that's a big deal. That academic label.
I think in that story, it identified them as being AAU.
Yeah, they would virtually have to be for the
no chance if you're not, and that hurts Clemson and FSU.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, guys, I've seen this like you probably have too. Was that they are and help me on this, but. I've seen a story, and I'm not sure about kicking out Nebraska because they're not an AAU school. I'm seeing a little bit of that. So regardless, that's a tremendous big deal with the Big Ten. Yes,
I don't think anybody's going to get kicked out. But Brett, I can remember not too many years ago that after Kevin Warren got through failing in his attempt to kill college football summer of 2020, in summer of 2021, he was calling the SEC corporate raiders and unethical. And how dare you go after other members of other leagues with Texas and OU. And then a year later, not even a full year, 10 months later, he has USC and UCLA that ultimately led to the disintegration of an entire league. I can remember them preaching at the SEC about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's real rich, isn't it?
Yeah. And look, in this day and age, I'm not saying anything necessarily can't happen But I just I think this may be more just one of your proverbial juicy rumors than anything else when I really look down at it. But
nobody
again,
on the ground at A&M or in the Houston market is close to writing that.
Yeah, no, I would not. No, I would not think so. No, not. And look, and I mean, you guys couched it the way it needs to be couched, which is as a rumor.
Yeah.
So
From
no,
Auburn blog to a Chicago talk host.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
so,
the Chicago talk host, the other part of that story was Notre Dame.
Well, but again, I think at some point Notre Dame will be will have enough. I don't know if it's going to be pressure on Notre Dame as much as it's going to be they see this as an advantage for them to join the conference. But I just don't think they're at that point either.
And if the Big Ten got to 20, the SEC would at least have to get to 18, probably going to whether they did or didn't get to 20. And then when you get 40 some odd teams, it gives more credence to today's other story of the Power Five just going their own way with their own playoff and not involving anyone else.
Yeah. Well, I think we all know that eventually is probably going to happen, whether it's in the and again, the power rests in the SEC and the Big Ten, and that's not going to end. And you guys probably saw the story like I did that came out today that both Benetti and Sankey said that if in the deal with the college football playoff, if they had not gotten, well, let's just be honest here, if they had not gotten their way,
they're going to walk.
They were. They had another plan that they were going to go with. We're not sure what that was.
And they do, and they will.
Yeah, and yes. And
who knew that Derek Dooley was behind it? What he didn't do a bad enough job at Tennessee that he's going to come now and try to do more damage to college football?
How about that?
That's going to raise a few eyebrows, isn't it?
Boy, man, him on that walker in 2012 after he had his hip replaced, that was a bad visual up at Knoxville.
Boy, I bet it was too. I just bet it was. Ooh.
Not good at all. Brent Beard joining us from First Coast News in Jacksonville. Well, over the last couple of weeks, we've talked a lot of the spring football games with you. Over the weekend, Florida State had their spring game. A lot of people talking about DJU as he'll now be the quarterback for Florida State. But for Florida State, after the season they had last year, a really, really, really positive season under Mike Norvell that ended, not how you really wanted it to end, but a lot of opt-outs in that game against Georgia after they missed the college football playoffs. How do they keep that momentum going into next year? I know a lot of people here locally are excited with Memphis traveling down there to play Florida State, but how does Mike Norvell keep that momentum going into this season?
We went over their schedule the other day, game by game, and it's hard not to look at them. Worst case scenario is 10-2 would be worse. And if they split the two, that would be 11-1. So, and I mean, your losses might be Notre Dame and Clemson. So, and let's just say they win one of those games. Oh yeah, they're 11-1. They would be, if they're not like at least fourth at 11-1, but maybe in the rankings, they certainly would be fifth or something of that ilk and squarely in it. But I mean, DJ Uiagalelei is a good quarterback. He's got 40 starts. He's got a lot of experience. But they even said on the Seminole broadcast on Saturday here that he still is learning. He still does not put enough touch on the ball. He needs to lob it when he needs a Greg Maddox 86-mile-an-hour fastball instead of one that's 100.
He has one speed. And that's been the thumbnail sketch on his negatives from Clemson on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And will that get better at Florida State? Now, he's got some weapons, obviously.
Norvell is some developer, though. He can coach that position.
Yes. I mean, he's done a good job at Florida State. Matter of fact, he's going to be here in May. That'll be interesting. They've got Malik Benson from Alabama at wide receiver. He had a good spring game. But look, he had a really good spring game last year at Alabama, and now he's at Florida State. So I know he can only take the spring game so far. Lawrence Toafila is going to be really good. We had a discussion here about how far Jared Verse could go up into the rankings, but I mean, you guys told me when they were looking at him what to expect, and that it would get better as it went on if he could get through the first year or so, and that very much is what's happened.
It took longer than I thought it would, but I really felt confident that he would do well. Brent Beard with us. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line where all our guests join us from. And Brent, I was really struck with the ground they've made up in the construction and the rebuilding of Doak Campbell. For most of us, it was our first look at it. Boy, they've made a lot of strides. We can't crack an egg here and get anything started on our stadium reconstruction and really making strides at FSU.
Well, let me say this too that might give you some hope. FSU struggled until the last few years with donors. I mean, they just don't have the alumni base that Florida does, and schools of that nature in the SEC and within a decent proximity of them. But they've really stepped up as far as their money is concerned, and that stadium is a big part of that because they know they're going, I think, to the Big Ten. I'm not going to rule the SEC out, but, for instance, they open the 2025 season next year with Alabama at home. So that they'll be sitting on the light post for that game, but that will be limited to about 50,000. But that's going to be a really nice state-of-the-art stadium, and like everybody else, they will have decreased, not increased, but decrease attendance in that stadium before it's built.
I think that's what everybody really is trying to get to.
They are.
To create some demand in your tickets where there's not all, I can always get one.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that's very much where they're headed right now.
I'm not so sure in the SEC the perfect size stadium isn't about 65,000. 70 max.
Yeah,
I think
on
Fayetteville's
average.
got it right.
Sure.
By number, it's not as big as others, but it is really nice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Give your customers some value.
Sure.
Well, that's important, and I won't go deep into this rabbit hole, but look, the thing you're going to see is better seating. You're going in, and Florida's going to do this too. You're going to see better concessions. You're going to see in the amenities that people want.
You got to make it like being at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Short of air conditioning in a dome stadium, and certainly the amenity that they all want, and FSU's going to do the same thing, is a state-of-the-art Wi-Fi system so you can use your phone at your leisure in the stadium.
And have chargers at every seat. I want a charger more than I do a cup holder.
Look, that would be one of the smarter things anybody could do right now in the stadium, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It was voted, last week, helmet communication and a 2-minute warning coming to college football. Obviously, you've talked a lot this offseason about that helmet communication. How many teams do you think use that right away? How much of a difference do we see? I saw it made me laugh at Tennessee's spring game. We still had the curtains up trying to hide all the signs. How much do you think we see this right away in college football? And then how much complaining do we hear? How much complaining do I have about the 2-minute warning when it comes to college football this year?
Well, the headset first. I mean, we probably should have had that 10 years ago. frankly, and I will. I'll miss the Frankenstein poster and the Lee Corso poster and the the cartoon posters and all that. I'm glad all that'll be gone. Now, I have been told that the receivers actually need some kind of a signal for them to understand what they're going to be doing, and they'll figure that out. These are smart people. I really have chuckled at this 2-minute warning thing. The thing I really got amused at, and I know when Brett saw it, he said the same thing. The rules committee co-chair says, now, this is not a new and additional timeout.
Right.
This is a known position that will hopefully alleviate the impression early in the quarters where media partners have taken breaks and consecutive opportunities. Look, just be transparent about this.
2-minute warning for 4 minutes of breaks.
Yeah.
And look, instead of trying to tell people what they know is different, just be transparent, tell them the truth. Now, I will say this, where this might come in handy is if you're down to one, if you're behind by a field goal and you're down to one timeout or have no timeouts, I could see where that would actually be helpful. But look, yes, let's call this what it is, because and talk with some friends today that they made a good point. Even if they don't cut away to commercials, they will have enough, guys, split screens or whatever, or tickers, that you'll get advertising one way or another.
No, it's back to the studio for score updates brought to you by. You can get ready for that. A promotion for the game coming up after these next 2 minutes. I mean, you can get ready for that. And look, we, us are all the beneficiary of it, but to the consumer, I mean, let's play ball. Brent, who is the SEC coach? Do you think having this communication device will be a veritable cheat code for them next year? Who do you think capitalizes and uses it the best in the SEC next year?
Well, I would almost like to see anything like this Lane figures out quickly and can use it to his
With
advantage.
a veteran quarterback, it is going to be a cheat code for him. Yep. You didn't know I was going to ask you that, did you?
No, but
that's the answer. It's Lane Kiffin and Jackson.
It is. It is. He just is a.
Once upon a time, can you imagine Mike Leach with Will Rogers?
Oh, man.
Mike Leach with Gardner Minshew at Washington State. Can you imagine the Pirate with anybody with this?
Listen,
it wouldn't have been fair.
No, not at all.
No. And listen, but what would you pay to hear the conversation?
That's what they need to be running in the 10-minute.
It really is, isn't it? Can you imagine? Yeah.
Well, you better be near the bleep button.
Man.
What?
Johnny had the 7-second delay ready.
Really?
Yeah,
I got
you. Hey, out of 20 words from some of these coaches, to Brett's point,
2 could go over there.
How many would not be censored?
Yeah, maybe 2 out of 20.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No. So it's gonna be interesting. A lot of changes, certainly coming next year. And then
I think Norvell with a new quarterback like DJU early.
Yeah.
That will be a cheat code for him.
Certainly.
Oh yeah. No question about it.
Anybody with a veteran quarterback like with Seth Hennigan, it helps.
100%.
Sure. Well, would it also be helpful if you've got a young, anxiety-filled quarterback?
Bobby Petrino with his Boise transfer.
Sure. That you could calm him down if you needed to do it early on.
Bobby Petrino would have 2 out of 20 over the headset.
No. Might be a clean sweep for him.
I think when he holds that Waffle House menu, that play sheet, it makes him want to curse more.
It does.
Yeah, I think so.
Can't you imagine being the guy in charge of making that every week?
Oh,
it'd be great.
Yeah, no thank
you.
you.
They have to play that back at meetings.
Got to.
Really? No question about it.
To bring some levity and fun to the meetings.
Oh, yeah. Got to. Well, it's always fun when we have Brent Beard on to talk some college football. Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Good. Can't wait, guys. Take care. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate it. Brother Brent Beard with us every week. talking all things college football, and that next year was Seth Hennigan. That was,
yeah,
'cause that's another coach, a 4-year starter.
Exactly.
Just to have a little, clear things up, a little clarity at a big moment of the game. That's big for him. At Jason's Deli, whether you're dining in, you're getting it to go, or delivered, you're getting wholesome food forever. It's a family thing. At all these great Jason's Deli locations we have in our area, like right over here near us by MUS at Ridgeway Road, over by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, and out at Cordova. Jason's Deli, you can check them out online at jasonsdeli.com. But check out those great locations and all the great food where it's all about choice. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. Whether you're getting it to go, whether you're getting it catered, or you're ordering off the menu, you will love it. If you have a catering event coming up, a lot of graduation parties, a lot of things coming up end of the year teacher get-togethers, anything like that, keep Jason's Deli in mind, bringing more to the table. It's a family thing with a variety of delicious choices for all three meals. Off the menu, all those salads like the Mesa chicken salad, the chicken Caesar salad, the nutty mixed-up salad, and then in every location, that great salad bar, over 30 items for you to prepare it however you would like, with locations at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Cordova, and Olive Branch, and in all those, the complimentary free ice cream. We're getting close to real peak ice cream time of year. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, we need to get to a break. When we come back, plenty to talk about in the NBA with those games from last night. Some really intriguing games tonight as well. So let's grab a quick break. When we come back, we're talking NBA.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey Mid-South, get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event and get thunderstruck with 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for $18,960 or $269 a month, or hit the open road in your 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $28,350 or $379 a month, and adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett $32,765 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months Mirage RH00 5921 MSRP 19460, Eclipse RZO 342,249 MSRP 29,350, Outlander RZO 43754 MSRP 33,765, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you buy their other jewelry at inflated prices just to be considered for a Rolex purchase. Well, that's all changed now that Genesis Diamonds has arrived. Genesis Diamonds is the premier dealer of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. People who come in are shocked to see Daytonas, Hulks, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejusts, all the hard-to-find Rolex watches ready to wear today. At Genesis, we've used our worldwide connections to find only the first luxury pre-owned Rolexes, immaculate, pristine watches, fairly priced with no strings attached, and with flexible financing options. So enough with the wait list and the retail jeweler games. Get the Rolex of your dreams today at Genesis Diamonds. And if you already have a Rolex and are interested in trading up, we also have Rolex buyers on site every day. Just another example of how we're forever changing the jewelry landscape here. Genesis Diamonds, official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
You don't have to be an executive to enjoy the Executive Happy Hour at 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. But you'll feel like one. From 4 to 6 in the afternoon, Tuesday through Saturday, find your way to the bar at 117 Prime because that's where the Executive Happy Hour happens. And enjoy $1.50 Gulf oysters, $4 domestic beers, $7 house wines, and $7 cocktails, a daiquiri, an old-fashioned, a margarita, or a martini, and soak up the atmosphere at 117 Prime like a big shot.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Here's what we're seeing. Slow traffic right now in the construction zone. 55 northbound, sometimes between Mallory all the way up past South Parkway, Macklemore, trying to get up to Crump. And that construction again has been giving us some problems out here. 240 east, you guessed it, already slow over here at Poplar. And it's been busy 40 going westbound, trying to get past Danny Thomas. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Tuesday afternoon, and it was a busy, busy night in the NBA. Last night, it's going to be a busy night again tonight. 3 games last night, 3 games again tonight.
Pretty
Same
good games
format.
last night.
Really good games last night.
You were right about the Cavs. They a little bit toyed with the Magic.
They did, especially late. I mean, they could have run away with that game and won by 20, 25 points, but they kind of let their foot off the gas at the very end. Kind of gave the Magic something to play with. But that game on NBA TV last night, the last 2 games on TNT, same format tonight, except it's going to be the middle game on NBA TV. So it should be fun. But those last 2 games, 76ers and Knicks, and then Lakers and Nuggets, 2 extremely fun games to watch, and it just kind of shows you how thin that difference is of a 1-1 series and a 2-0 series. It is everything, because, I mean, we're having completely different discussions
and this is
today.
2-2, 1-1-1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now if you're down 0-2, you've got to take both of those.
Sure.
And then try to get game 5 and then steal it in 6 at home. And then we know through the years here and watching the rest of the league and rest of sports how difficult that is. Mm-hmm. What would you say, Joel Embiid, playing at what percent?
Oh, geez. 80% maybe.
If that,
yeah.
And how good he is, but he is hurting.
Late in
that game, it was very obvious.
No, it's very obvious that he is in pain and he's just kind of out there. I think how talented he is does add to like the percentage I think he's playing at, because to me it's like if I was out there playing at what percent, what would I look like, and then seeing him out there, I mean, he could be playing at 30% right now and just be that good, and I'd say that sounds about right.
He is that good.
Yeah, he is. So I mean, it's very clear, and it's definitely hurting the 76ers a little bit, but also, I mean,
New York does not have this series yet.
No,
they don't.
Not at all.
By
it says 2-0, but don't fall in love with that 2 or get too disheartened over that 0.
Yeah, no, both these games have been super competitive.
I would say that after the game, Joel Embiid, he looked very
very drained after the game.
Really did.
His head was down. He really didn't make eye contact with none of the cameras, man. He really looked at him.
The bucket was really empty.
Yeah, man.
And he's hurting.
Yeah, he hurting bad, man. He's a warrior out there.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is. But the end of that game, the made shots. Hartenstein came
It was
up
the
with some
Spike
big
Lee
plays.
playoff moment in that game.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
the
well.
picture this morning where Tyrese Maxey, who was questionable
That'd be
even
fun
to
to be at that
play.
game.
Oh man, but
I like the Garden. I like the idea of the Garden.
Oh, absolutely. But Tyrese Maxey has the ball and he's being grabbed by the back of his jersey. It's kind of a still image of him just being grabbed by the back and
totally.
No call there. There was a couple other spots in that kind of crazy 5
what would
seconds.
Hunter Wendelstad had called?
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
He'd have kicked the whole
would've-
building out.
Everyone would have been out of there. And then, the timeout that wasn't called. I mean, it was a brutal loss for the 76ers last night. And
it got wild late.
Yeah.
And the games tonight should be fun. Do you see upset tonight?
I don't know.
I don't think Mavericks over Clippers upset. It is because they're underdog slightly, 1.5.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if there's going to be an upset, that'd probably be the one I would point to. But no, I mean, I don't know. I think these are some really
Phoenix
interesting
still has
games.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point, and I think they could certainly go out and win. And I think all three of these games are way more, and it's reflective in the spread. I mean, Minnesota 3.5 point spread. What was that?
I did my whole playoff.
Oh, good Lord!
History sheet.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, I think these games are going to be much more entertaining, or not entertaining, but much more interesting in how they're going to play out.
These teams that make up this year's playoffs, 16 teams in the playoffs. I went through who all they've played in the playoffs of the current NBA makeup.
Okay.
I don't count, like if you played Seattle, I don't count that playing Oklahoma City.
Sure. Okay.
I don't count Sacramento and the other place. You have to have played Sacramento as being the Sacramento Kings. No shocker, the Los Angeles Lakers have played 23 of the other teams.
Wow.
So that's 23 of 29 because they can't play against themselves.
Sure.
23. They've played everybody in the West except for the Clippers.
Really?
Clippers and Lakers have never met in the playoffs. No shock. Second, tied with Miami at 17 and Milwaukee at 17. And when I get to Milwaukee, you'll know why.
Okay.
Boston at 17, same number of titles that they have. They've played everybody in the East except for Charlotte.
Wow.
Charlotte's in here a bunch.
Yeah.
Celtics with 17 titles, 17-5 when they get to the NBA Finals.
Wow.
Milwaukee, interesting. Of the current teams now, so they've played 17. But remember, for a long time, they were in the West. So they've got a lot of Western teams that they've played, but not in the NBA Finals.
Interesting.
They've played in three NBA Finals. They're 2-1. Just won a few years ago. But way back, with Kareem, they were playing in the West and playing the Knicks in the Finals as champions of the West.
Yeah.
Knicks champions of the East. They played the Wizards, in the East and in the West. But they've had a lot of different. The least number is 9. That's Minnesota. They've only played 9 of the teams. They got to make up a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So I also did it for the Grizzlies.
Okay.
And in the Grizzlies' short history, only playoffs have been since they've been in Memphis. Played 10 other teams.
Okay.
Never have played Houston, Sacramento, Denver, or New Orleans.
Wow.
38-60 all time in the playoffs, all in Memphis.
Interesting. That's not bad for like you said, short history.
It's not.
It's not bad at all.
Dallas, with a history much longer than the Grizzlies, Dallas 14 teams.
Interesting.
So not that many more.
Sure. No, not that many more at all. That's interesting. And I guess we'll see what happens with those, and hopefully the Grizzlies are back next year. And hey, maybe with how the West is shaping up, might get a new opponent in there.
Phoenix with 16 teams they've played, 60-60 all time in playoff games, 0 championships, 0-3 in the finals, and in the West they've played everybody except for Oklahoma City and New Orleans. Now they had Seattle in the past, but I didn't count that against Oklahoma City.
Interesting. Some good nuggets. Can't lie.
Don't worry.
There you
Golden
go.
Nuggets.
Yeah, I guess so. That's right. Golden Nuggets like the Denver
Nuggets.
I'm looking for the Knicks. My writing, boy, it is something. 16 teams for the Knicks. 193, 198 entering this year's playoffs. So now it'd be 195 and 198. 2-6 all time in finals. They've played everybody in the East in the playoffs except for Orlando. There's some matchups you can check off this year.
Certainly, and we could see those, but like we were talking about with the Magic and the Cavs. Magic, a lot of work need to be done for them if they want.
Clippers history pretty thin.
Round.
Played 10. They've played everybody in the West except for the Lakers, Sacramento, Minnesota, and New Orleans.
Interesting.
So a little bit like the Grizzlies.
Sure.
And they've been around a lot longer than the Grizzlies.
That's right. So, yeah, but maybe we'll see some more get checked off as we get further and further into these playoffs. That'd be fun.
Hope so.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Do you see any upsets? You asked me. Do you see any upsets tonight?
I don't think it's upset, but Dallas taking that game.
Sure.
I guess according to Vegas, 1.5 it would be.
But I mean, all these spreads are super
1.5
low.
pick 'em, isn't it?
I mean, Minnesota is a 3.5.
Not if you got the dog and they only lose but one.
Well, that's a good point. Milwaukee a 1.5 point favorite, and the Clippers a 1.5 point favorite. So
these are pretty narrow. And
Vegas thinks
watch
all
these
games
over
are
and
really
unders.
good. Oh yeah,
they're not going to miss plus or minus 4.
No, not at all.
Gonna be right on it.
Sure is, sure will be. And I'm curious. You talk about those over unders. I'm curious tonight to see what this Suns Timberwolves game looked like, just with how good the Timberwolves defense has been this season and kind of shutting down those big three. I mean, Bradley Beal couldn't get anything going in that first game, and so I'd be interested to see if this Suns team regroups and comes out and kind of shows this offensive firepower that we've seen at times this year against this young Timberwolves team. But I don't know. It was a fun atmosphere, Target Center, in that first game where you have that little clip of Ant running back down, jawing at Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant just smiling, just kind of have to
take it,
acknowledge, and say, wow, this is something. And so that was really cool to see.
I touched on this last week with Rob, and we'll have Rob Fisher with us tomorrow from the Grizzlies tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Talk all things Grizzlies and the NBA, and he's going to be with us through the draft. How big a homer do I sound like? Because I don't. I'm very pro Grizzlies, kind of in the large, kind of the civic-minded community thing. Same as the Tigers, but I think I can see the forest for the trees with the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
But I swear, except for Minnesota, of course Denver.
Sure.
How many teams, if the Grizzlies are healthy, are they really that far behind next year? Maybe Minnesota. Maybe.
Sure, Minnesota.
That far? It's not light years, though, is it?
I don't think it's light years, no. But what they've gotten now in Anthony Edwards has certainly given them a boost.
Oklahoma City?
I'd say Oklahoma City is.
All right, so we can agree 3 or 4.
Sure.
Not more than that.
No, I think they're right there in that mix after that.
We know what the Clippers are going to look like next year.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows?
Phoenix, Lakers.
Who knows? Yeah, Lakers.
Grizzlies aren't behind New Orleans.
No, I don't think so.
If you're healthy.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean,
I know they are this year.
Sure.
I can read the standings.
Yes, but no, I think you're right. I think next year, I mean, they're right there in the mix. I think we're talking about a 3, 4, 5 seed next year for this Grizzlies team, and I think they're.
But we're not talking about a team in the wilderness.
No, we're. I don't,
this time next year we could be.
Sure. But yeah, I don't think we're talking about a team that's trying to fight for their life in the play-in.
Because this time next year, even if it's injury, people aren't going to want to hear that.
Nope.
Even if it's legit.
That is true.
Okay, we did all that last year.
1 year's already too much.
Injury and controversy.
Sure.
We've done that the last 2 years. Controversy this time last year. Injury this year. If you don't have controversy and you don't have injury and you're not in those playoffs, I'm not talking about even play-in, playoffs.
Sure.
Then there are going to be plenty of people irritated.
Oh, absolutely. And
kind of tired of hearing the excuse making.
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
The excuses, I think, so far have been valid.
I do too. I do too. But again, I think a lot of people,
but you run out of your capital of that.
You were able to kind of save yourself this year because of all of the injuries, and there were, I mean, nobody would have expected this injuries, but next year
people will play along fairly for a little while.
Exactly, but you get 2 years into this,
that.
and there's something else, and for whatever reason, something happens.
That's honestly, I think where we've gotten with Penny. We accepted, okay, we're waiting, we're waiting, then no tournament.
Right, and now it's show me. You've got to prove it to me now. So it's interesting, but I do think they're right there in the mix, and obviously there's going to be a lot of excitement next year, and I think the excitement only builds based on what's happening this year in the playoffs with the Grizzlies not being in there. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Your Memphis Showboats are back in action at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium on Sunday, April 28th at 2 p.m. All game long, we will be celebrating the incredible legacies of Showboats greats Reggie White and Pepper Rogers, and you won't want to miss our tribute at halftime. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at theufl.com. That's theufl.com. Your Memphis Showboats versus the Michigan Panthers, Sunday, April 28th at 2 p.m. Tickets start at just $10. Go Boats!
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value.
MetroBuildersMemphis.com.
Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with
MetroBuildersMemphis.com.
Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brad, I'm going to stick with the theme of the NBA draft today. I don't...
NBA draft?
Excuse me, NFL draft.
Oh, I'm NBA. I'm sorry,
NBA
wow,
playoffs. No, I am NFL draft. No promises that I stick with it tomorrow, though. But I do have it today.
Well, I can promise I am sticking with it tomorrow and Thursday.
Well, then maybe we can swap.
There you go.
And you can
and we
take
didn't plan
over.
this.
No, you can take over the
On the
NFL
fly.
draft, and I'll do something else. But my big number today is the number 42. Drake May is a guy that earlier in the process, I think a lot of people thought was going to be the number 2 overall pick and the second quarterback taken off the board, but it now looks like Jane Daniels has leapfrogged him, but certainly still a guy that will be taken high, a guy that a lot of people are talking about, a highly rated quarterback recruit, but I think quarterback prospect, but I think when a lot of people talk about him, they talk about his arm. They don't really talk about him as a runner. So that's where my big number comes in. 42. Drake May accounted for a combined 42 first down carries on third and fourth downs the last 2 seasons.
Good escapability.
Very good escapability. And on top of that, another big number, 56. He had 56 rushes of 10 or more yards the last 2 seasons. That was second most in the FBS among quarterbacks, only behind Jaden Daniels.
That's a great big number, Brian, because I do not, when I think him, I do not think runner.
I don't either. Yeah, that's why, that jumped out to me.
Or even
I
escape
didn't
artist.
No, I just think big arm, can make a lot of throws. That's it.
I think a lot of those runs he won't be wanting to do after he gets hit in the NFL.
No. NFL, much different landscape.
Yeah, my big number is 18. Of the current players right now in the NBA playoffs with all-time playoff scoring, Kyrie Irving is 18th among those players. Number 1, LeBron. Number 2, KD. 3, Steph Curry. 4, James Harden. 5, Klay Thompson. 6, CP3. 7, Kawhi. 8, Russell Westbrook. All the way down at 18 is Kyrie Irving. Kyle Lowry, 17th.
Wow.
That's what we were talking about yesterday with Kyrie Irving. Except for that one big one.
Yeah.
He just hadn't been that much in playoffs.
That's true.
And after our dialogue about it yesterday, I thought, well, let me see where after I said this, let me see if I can really substantiate it.
Yeah.
Well, I could. I did.
Yeah.
He's behind Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
Jaylen Brown is one in front of him.
Holy cow. It's hard to believe. But, kind of what we were saying in our discussion
And Jaylen Brown,
about
like 3 years younger than Kyrie.
That's
right.
it.
Yeah. But it all kind of goes back to what we were saying yesterday. He can still come out and flex that one ring. He can flex it.
He can. Now, how long can you? I guess you can do that forever.
You could.
That's one more than most.
Sure.
That's one more than a lot of people ahead of him on this list.
That's a very good point.
Like James Harden and Chris Paul.
Who have been going at it
and
for
Russell Westbrook
for a long time trying
They'd
to
all trade that spot for that.
Certainly. Easily, too.
That's lifetime flex.
Yeah, wouldn't even be a question. They would change it just like that. But it's interesting. I think, I'm interested kind of going back to what we were talking about in our last segment. I'm interested to see how Dallas comes out tonight. And
I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to count up the number of first-round exits.
Ooh. Interesting.
Maybe not tonight because I'm going to the Redbird game early tomorrow morning.
Yes,
in time for 3 o'clock
At some point before we meet again, you will have that. But no, and Kyrie.
And I'm not trying to dog him.
Sure.
When he comes through here, And he's up there in the top 3 or 4 or 5 out-of-town stars I want to see.
Absolutely. No, I love Kyrie.
When he came through year before last with Brooklyn on a night that the whole ESPN crew was here, Will Bond, Stephen A., and they were set up in that end zone by where the press box is at FedEx Forum with media seating, he delivered.
He was awesome that night. I was there that night, and a lot of Kyrie fans in attendance, a lot of Kevin Durant fans in attendance.
You could make the case best one-on-one player in the league.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
Yeah,
Easy.
I love. I mean, Kyrie's one of my favorite
But it's not a
players.
one-on-one game.
Sure.
No, it's a team game.
And that's what we're seeing with this Mavericks team. I mean, that first game against the Clippers,
they got another good one-on-one guy.
They do, and both of them were really good in that first game. But it
you
was
need
the
3
other
more
pieces. Yeah, so that's gonna be a fun game tonight. It's the late game. At 9 o'clock, but you said it earlier. I agreed with you. I think if we do see a quote unquote upset, that I think it's that Mavs game, Mavs win over the Clippers later tonight.
Out of town stars right now to see LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph,
absolutely.
I think Kyrie Irving's right in there.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Trying to think of anybody else that comes to mind. Those are certainly the first ones, though.
Kawhi Dutton.
No,
he's
really.
good to see when you get there. Oh yeah,
I like Giannis, but I don't know.
I think Giannis is in there.
I think so.
Giannis is in there.
Too soon for Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Sure, well, but it's
coming.
By the time he comes here next year, it will certainly be
and
there.
since we've had a team, I know Jordan at the end with Washington, but Kobe was probably the biggest.
Oh, absolutely.
LeBron's way up there.
He's up there.
Whether
Certainly.
Cleveland or Miami or here or Lakers.
Yeah, everyone loves to go see LeBron for good reason.
But a lot of times when you got Kobe, you got Shaq too.
Sure do.
That was fun. I loved Iverson, and we usually would just get him once.
Sure.
Against the East.
That's another good one.
Derrick Rose.
Yeah, Derrick Rose. Nice to see him on the sidelines. And I guess occasionally fine. But yeah, no, there's I think some really good ones. But certainly now I think Kyrie's definitely got to be in that top 5 mix of players that people really, circle his team on the calendar and say I'm gonna go see Kyrie. So but it's I think a really good list. But let's go ahead and wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we come back, it's all NFL talk with our guy Bo Marchant.
Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville is now open and the ribbon cutting is April 25th. And Collierville Mugshots is giving away free burgers for a year, a $675 value, no purchase necessary. To enter, follow Mugshots Grill and Bar on Facebook. Like, tag 2 friends, and share. The lucky winner will be announced April 25th. Come by Mugshots Grill and Bar, 656 West Poplar for half-priced happy hour 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. Mugshots Grill and Bar, now open in Collierville. As always, having a good time.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
You can't say that.
But it's true.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. You can get to any Central Barbecue location from anywhere in Memphis in 10 minutes, depending on traffic.
You made that up.
Try me.
Bartlett.
The Summer Avenue Central Barbecue.
Germantown.
Not Memphis, but the Poplar location.
South Memphis.
Downtown.
Olive Branch.
Again, not Memphis, but the South Haven Central Barbecue.
I still don't think you say you can get to there any of them in 10 minutes.
Well, that's why it's depending on traffic. If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text or just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know that one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take-your-pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month, plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports, or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall, at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes stock final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD on the scene of a couple of accidents. Here's what we're seeing. Traffic building even more on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way over to 385. It's been slow on and off today. On 55, trying to get up through that construction northbound, working your way up towards Crump. 55 south across the bridge started to slow a bit a few minutes ago. It's cranking up over here on 40 East up by Warford, Hollywood, headed all the way over to White Station on I-40. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line to talk the NFL, more importantly, talk the NFL draft. Only a couple days away. Brett, they took away my ticker on ESPN to tell me exactly how long we were from the start of the NFL draft. But we're a couple days away from it. Oh, here it is back. 49 minutes.
There we go. Just in time, Bo.
49 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds away from the start of the NFL draft. Bo, what is kind of the biggest storyline of the draft that you're looking forward to see play out in a couple days?
I think the landing spot of McCarthy, there's so much hype around him at this point. The last month or so, there's just been an onslaught, and who knows where those voices are coming from. But it seems that he's the hot name. It seems like the other quarterbacks have kind of positioned themselves where they will be. But McCarthy, you're talking to defending national champion quarterback, high-profile program, and he's in the mix. He could be the guy that maybe does come to fruition where he lands in the top 5, maybe top 10, or he lands outside the top 10. So I think he's that guy. Kind of the same hype, and not comparing the players in terms of who they were. I mean, because Johnny Manziel was one of the greatest collegiate athletes I've ever seen. But, kind of like that Manziel hype where, teams, and he ended up slipping. I think McCarthy, again, just in terms of the way that he's kind of skyrocketed up the boards during the offseason. And, I don't know how he could have done that compared to some of these other guys. So I just think there's a lot of media hype there, a lot of voices playing into it. But we will find out how much of those voices were speaking the truth come Thursday night or how many of those were kind of false prophets.
What's the best spot for him?
Well, I mean, I think if I'm a quarterback, I mean, I would love to land in Denver and work for Sean Payton. I know they just acquired Zach Wilson, but I mean, anyone out there thinking he's going to be resurrected into the next guy, it's not going to happen. So, any quarterback team that's going to be quarterback friendly and be able to develop a guy, and I think Sean Payton would be that guy. Even the Giants, I mean, Brian Daboll. I mean, we saw what he did with Josh Allen. He was able to make Josh Allen one of the best quarterbacks, and then he made Daniel Jones a very productive quarterback. He got hurt last year. The line didn't play well, and it always comes back down on the quarterback. But I think the Giants, I think the Broncos are two particular teams that could use a quarterback that it could be in the running for McCarthy on Thursday night that could develop him and to be a quality guy.
Do you think a lot of NFL people think that he's been developed by Jim Harbaugh? Because we know what Jim Harbaugh can do with a quarterback. Do you think NFL teams are thinking we're getting a guy that's already jumped to the top of the class on the developmental scale?
That's a great point, Brett. I think if anything, the teams would look at it going, they know he was taught the right way. Knowledge of the game is probably going to be there. He's going to be sound in the film room. He's going to know where to go with the football and make his reads correctly. And then it comes down to the
played in bad weather.
Yeah, I mean all the intangibles, and and you got to put. I mean, there's a reason Harbaugh went with him. You're talking about a guy who is a quarterback guru, and he went with him. So, listen, I know I haven't been applauding and head over heels about McCarthy. I just don't consider him, on the same level, at least right now, as a Drake May, a Daniels, or a Williams. And for me, on the outside looking in, and I'm not the most connected individual out there by any stretch of the imagination, but I just find it a little bit bizarre how a guy could have been a borderline first-round pick, mid-February, maybe a first-round pick.
You got people fighting over him.
Yeah. Now the Raiders are going to move up to number 3 to take him. So that's where I get caught up in the hell. Where is this coming from? And I don't know where it's coming from. And that's like I said at the top of the show. We'll find out the truth Thursday night if this was just all a ploy. I just saw the latest where Peyton Manning said the Broncos are very serious about him. And when you look at that in the perspective, why would the Broncos want to know that they're interested if there's any other team interested in JJ McCarthy? It would make no sense to drive up the market for a team that you're actually, he has an affinity playing for the Broncos, being part of the Broncos organization. Why would you want to drive the value up on saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, we really want this guy because there's 31 teams probably absent of the Chiefs that want a quarterback. So it's kind of a bizarre thing, but that's where you get this point where it's a season of a lot of unknowns, a lot of what ifs in terms of where this information is coming from. Agents love to feed these guys; they love to give you information and help push these guys along, and that's part of the process. It's just where we're at. But nonetheless, I hope all these quarterbacks hit all the way down to Austin Reed from Western Kentucky. I hope he's a standout. I told you the quarterback play was so bad last year that if we can get 6 or 7 guys that are even capable of playing the game at a high level, that we would be fortunate. That's probably that's kind of crazy talk to even think we're going to get that many. If we can get 3 good quarterbacks out of this draft class, I would be thrilled. I mean, it's hard enough to find one, but if we could get 3, we'd be very, very lucky.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Raiders are looking to trade up. I saw another report. Patriots, they say their phone lines are wide open if somebody wants to call and try to trade up to number 3. How much trade movement do you think we see in that top 10 on Thursday night?
Oh, well, let's see. I mean, we got about, 4 or 5 trades. I think the average right now in the first round over the last 5 years is 13.2 trades. There's been 66 first-round trades.
And most of that's draft day, right?
First day, first round. Now, that includes, just say the Bears getting the Panthers' number 1 pick. But, 13, that's 66 trades since 2019 till last year. So comes out to 13.2. So I don't know. We got about 4, 5, 6, 5, maybe 5 trades already made in the first round. So you're figuring on average there should be 7 or 8 more trades draft night amongst these teams. So you just say the top 10, at least 2, 3. I just think law of averages, and then you got after the top 10, you got 22 more picks. So that gives you another 4. So 4, 3, 8, 6 already. So you're right there at the 13 mark. Again, just playing the law of averages on what they're trying to tell you from the past. So I think 2. I think over under, if you're going to go on DraftKings or something, I'd say 2.5 is your over-under on trades inside the top 10 that haven't happened yet. It could be coming on the horizon Thursday night.
Bryant's got his DraftKings app open as we speak, Bo.
Love getting a little action.
Bo, the Bears say they know who they're going to take. We know it's going to be a quarterback. What's your final number of first-round quarterbacks taken?
I think all 6 go. I think Williams, May, Daniels, Penix, McCarthy, Nix, not in that order, but just those 6 go. And if not, I'm going to go 6. I'd be shocked if we don't see 5. I would be shocked if we don't see 5. I just think the way that the NFL is, the way that these teams can kind of move up and draft boards. I mean, we've already seen Zach Wilson traded to Denver. The Steelers, among all teams, the Steelers who will never give up on anybody, have already jettisoned Kyle Pickett after the 2022 draft. So, if you move up and you take a little gamble and you just say you take a Michael Pratt, or I shouldn't say Michael Pratt, but a Michael Penix, and he doesn't work out, it's not a lost all cause. And where it could hurt you is if hypothetically, if the Vikings or one of these teams elect to really move up into that top 3 to try to get one of the quarterbacks that we've mentioned in May or Daniels who should be there, that's where you now you're paying a hefty price. If you can get through this and just say move up into the late second round and grab a Nix or a Penix, I think that's going to be a very interesting thing within the last, I'd say from 25 down, where teams are doing it. And I was down at the Steelers press conference yesterday, and we were talking about the 20th pick, and Tomlin addressed that, they pick at number 20, and he just said it seems like the 20th pick, and even down, he just said the 20th, though, seems like a soft, sweet spot for trading up or down. It seems like teams that want to kind of move in to that 20th spot, or, if the team wants to move down, if, the deal works with them. So, again, expect a lot of fireworks, a lot of unknowns. I like to think, like last year, it's kind of fresh in our minds. When we saw Jamar Gibbs go, 10th or 11th overall to the Detroit Lions last year, everybody's minds were blown because we're so accustomed to seeing these mock drafts and the same names in the same places. And it's not about team need. It's our perception of what the team needs. I was on another station earlier this week, and I said it's like needing a lawnmower, and you're going to Home Depot to buy a lawnmower. I say, hey, you know what you guys said? Where's Bryant and Brett? Oh, they went to Home Depot to buy a lawnmower. I'm going to put on my mock draft. You're buying a lawnmower.
Yeah.
When you come back from Home Depot, you got a barbecue grill.
Yeah. What'd you do that for?
Yeah, and
why'd you buy a ceiling fan?
Yeah, and that's the way this draft is. I mean, some of them we know there's a need. We know the quarterbacks, and those are usually very dressed early, and it's a simple, But when you're talking defensive back, offensive linemen, defensive interior guys, receivers, that you're really just you're throwing darts at a wall, hoping you land on something. And again, it's educated guess, but that's the way I want everybody to kind of look at this. If you're surprised and are blown away by something Thursday night, it's just because nobody really knew, or it was the perception that we didn't know from the get-go. So, and that's the fun of it. That's the glory and the fun and excitement why we're drawn to it. That's why there's a ticker saying there's 49 hours left till we're all excited and we're pumped up to watch these guys walk across the stage in Detroit.
It's the Shield. We're going to be watching, and we are pumped up. Bo, you mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs from last year. So what's the first running back off the board this year? What number?
Well, I mean, you got to look at Brooks. I mean, it seems like Jonathan Brooks, the Texas back, is the guy. Then you look at Dallas. They've done. They're going to go with Deuce Vaughn. Royce Freeman is not the guy. I know they just brought him in. So I think there's that glaring need in Dallas if they go in that direction. But then you look at other teams. I think Arizona could be a candidate. I mean, James Conner is. Not that he's washed up or old, but you're just getting some fresh legs in there. So I think that's another candidate. I just think those two teams, right off the top of my head, stand out more than the rest. But
six quarterbacks in the first round. Will there be six running backs in the first 3 rounds?
Yeah. First 3 rounds. So that means Thursday night or Friday night, can we get 6 running backs off the board? Man, that's going to be tricky. I'm going to say I would go under on that. I would say 5.5 if you're going to go on and look at that. It's not that I love the running back class. I mean, I love Marshawn Lloyd from USC. I love Ray Davis from Kentucky. I love Blake Corum. I love Benson and Brooks. I mean, there's so many backs out there that I really, really, really excited about to see them, run the football. I mean, you got Frank Gore Jr. How can't you get excited about him? And he's going to be a Saturday guy most likely. But nonetheless, these guys. This is just where these guys are going to be slated. When they kind of enter the league, unless you're just a Todd Gurley, Travis Etienne, one of these Bijan Robinson, where you're just on another level coming out of the collegiate level, where you're going to be in that top 10. But hey, Jahmyr Gibbs proved that last year. If a team likes you, teams are move up. I think the year before, or Breece Hall's rookie season, the Jets were trying to move back into the first round to draft Breece Hall, but they couldn't find a trade partner, so they had to take him at the top of the second. So it's just a matter of what teams can get done, and sometimes you might miss on a guy, but maybe you're not able to make a move, but it ends up working out for you where they fall to you where you're originally at. But man, six is a great number, Brett, because it really puts you on the precipice of where you're going to go with that. But I would have to go under 6. I don't know who that 6th guy would be that was going to be third round worthy, but man, who knows? It could. I don't know, but I would love to see 6 guys at the running back position come off the board Friday night.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk is looking for a contract extension with the 49ers, but the San Francisco Chronicle put out a story saying that anything is possible on draft night, and he could be moved by the 49ers. According to this story, the 49ers are looking for a first-round pick in return for Ayuk, and that it also said in the story that some general managers believe the 49ers ultimately could end up accepting a second-round pick for him. What do you think of the thought of the 49ers moving on from Brandon Ayuk, and what would that price tag be for him?
Well, I mean, if I'm a team and they're saying we can get away with the 1, I'm like, how high does that 1 have to be?
Yeah.
And if this comes down to a 2, I'm doing it. We talked a lot on the show prior to tonight that I'm always going to go with proven talent rather than throwing, taking Xavier Worthy, runs fast, but he's going to be good. Brian Thomas looks great. Xavier Leggett. I mean, Keon Coleman. We don't know. Brandon Ayuk has proved it. So I think if you can get away with the 1, and listen, the 49ers would love to keep him. This is not he's not a Niner, but it just comes down to salary and dollars and cents and who you can keep. They already invested in Deebo Samuel, so it kind of leaves them light in the pocket to be able to go back. They took care of Bosa, McCaffrey. They got Purdy coming up on the horizon. So, it's a team just trying to make amends and trying to be at an elite level, but trying to get as much as you can for a guy who may become disgruntled, may not show up for camp. And we've seen this now over the summer. I don't want to get off topic, but the running backs we saw, some of these guys, it's the late after all this goes down. You'd think the agents would kind of have these guys prepped for, hey, are you happy? If not, this is the time to strike. We got to let them know. But we've seen, over the summer, these guys getting detached and kind of, don't want to be where they're at. And it's kind of like almost too late. You're ruining your value, or at least the team's ability to get, the most out of you and themselves. So, if that's the case, a 1 or even a 2, I would expect Brandon Ayuk not to be a 49er come Friday morning or late Thursday night on the East Coast.
That first pick for the Bears, it's important, but that 9th pick that they have, they've got to get it right too, because they're not that far off.
No, they're not. The Bears are. That's the fun part about some of these teams. They for them to listen. I mean, they played well last year, and given all the circumstances and Fields missing time, they were able to win some games. Yeah, they got to get it right. You're exactly right. But the problem is they've been missing, and a lot of the moves they've made, maybe free agency, and and it's kind of helped that team along. But everyone's saying Odunze, the Washington receiver, is the guy. But those are the picks. I think if Chicago, you got Caleb Williams, you invest in the O line. I know it sounds cliche, but you really got to find the bodies up front to protect these kids. I mean, we saw what happened to Bryce Young last year. A kid just running around in the backfield for his life, not able to kind of set, not able to develop the way they want him to. And it's just, if you look off that as a blueprint, you got to give these guys as much protection. You got to nurture them almost like a baby. You want to be the mama bear. You want to do everything you can to protect that baby cub, because you don't want them to get rattled. You don't want to get frustrated. You don't want them to be antsy. You want them to be calm in the pocket and be able to be the leader that you want.
It's affected Joe Burrow.
Yeah, look at Burrow, and Burrow, and some of the injuries has been, the weird ones, his fingers and some of the, but you got to protect these guys. You got, look at Alex Smith, David Carr when he first got drafted to the Texans.
It was brutal.
It was, and people think it's bad, and I think the Giants last year I think 86 or 81 sacks was I think the second most in NFL history, or something crazy, and you're trying to think, Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito, how are those guys supposed to be productive when they can't play the position how it's supposed to be? It's kind of like driving your car as fast as you can with a donut on it. It's just not going to perform as you want. And the quarterback is the most dominant position, is the most vital position. And granted, and I like the moves that I think the Bears. I mean, you got Keenan Allen, you got Moore, you got Cole Kmet. I just think adding another receiver that early when that team isn't in a luxury position to take that, it's a deep receiver class. They could go and get a guy in the second, third, fourth round that's a very high caliber guy and still address receiver if that's where they elected to go. And if they real quick, if they really want to blow the minds off everybody, you got Cole Kmet, the guy that you said could be the best guy in this draft, and Brock Bowers. Just take Brock Bowers and really light it up for the Bears offense.
Yeah, Buffalo kind of did that with
Dalton Knox
and Dalton Knox and with Kincaid.
Yeah, I remember the Cowboys when they had Amari Cooper and Gallup was starting to take off, and you're like, wow. And they took CeeDee Lamb. It's kind of like go all in, overhype it. Do so much you can to just make this offense unstoppable. So, but Brock Bowers, and the reason people are like, well, you want an offensive lineman. I just think receivers deep enough. Brock Bowers is a very unique talent at the tight end position. So there's only one Brock Bowers in this draft. I think there's a lot of receivers that could end up in the same, atmosphere or stratosphere, if you will. Kind of at the end of the day, it's a nice class. Adonai Mitchell from Texas. I think he's going to be a nice grab for somebody. Ladd McConkey, the Georgia kid. He's Ricky Parcells from Florida. Roman Wilson, Michigan. I could go on and on about guys I'd like. Joshua Cephas from UC Tennessee State. So just a little late guys, but nonetheless guys that could turn the corner for a team late.
Bryant, Bo mentioned the guy rolling around on the donut. Should I tell him that one day in Memphis traffic, I passed a guy with not one, not two, not three, all four tires were donuts?
Yeah. That was an all-time story. Yes.
Also passed one day 240 South here. Passed a guy rolling around, no door, and
it was not a Jeep
on the passenger side, or on the driver's side rather. Driver's side, no door.
How about that?
I gave him a thumbs up going by. I mean, you got to applaud a guy out there doing that.
No, and then you think about how fortunate you are that this guy got to wake up and got to get to where he's going on 4 donuts. So that it just puts in perspective, and real quick. I mean, just it really does put you in perspective. I had a couple phone calls. I had to do some health insurance stuff today, and how those calls go. And I was on 48 minutes. It turned into 52 minutes, and I'm still nowhere. Finally, I had stuff to do. I'm like, I can't be on the phone. And I was so flustered. I was so mad. I was just so angry. And then I had to bake. I actually was baking. And I turned on some 9/11 thing, and you heard about the people going into the towers. And then I just thought to myself, how blessed can you be? Like, you're upset about a phone call. Like, just be lucky that you're here. Like, those people went through horrific stuff, man. Like, get your grip together. And then I just got back into a great mood. And now I'm doing Memphis Sports 56 with you guys on Draft Eve. So I can't be happier.
Bo, you're so right. It's so many days. The blessing is what we don't have going on in our lives.
Right. I mean, it's the simple things, and that was a reality check. The big guy from above said, "I need you to wake up a little bit and stop being
48 minutes on phone hell."
Yeah, So I was, and then again, and then getting back to draft talk, and I just started thinking like, oh, it's 6:00, it's Tuesday, it's Draft Eve. It's just there's so much to talk about. We could probably talk for another 5 hours if you guys wanted to, just kind of go through positions and scenarios and. All those fun things.
That 5 hours is how long it will take to hand the card with the Bears pick on it. They say they have it. That should be in 30 seconds, shouldn't it?
Only thing, I don't know this, and again, I think the NFL just wants to keep us in suspense. Sure. That way, everyone's excited and pumped up when they arrive in Detroit, and we know it's Caleb Williams, but after
and
Caleb,
good for Detroit.
Yeah, it is. It's good for everybody, but the fun part is, when we get to number 2. It could be Drake May. It could be Jaden Daniels. It's you don't know. You really don't know. And and if you listen to the crazies out there, it could be J.J. McCarthy. So. Hey, Griffin, I don't know. I didn't think the Colts were going to take Anthony Richardson at 4 last year. I would have bet everything on that, and I was completely wrong. So, you just never know what's going on internally or how teams view guys, and that's the fun part. Even down yesterday talking to Omar Khan and Tomlin during the press conference, they give you a little bit, but they really give you nothing in terms of what's going to happen. At least for the Steelers. Omar Khan, at least, probably the most honest thing he said was, he would be shocked if they end up taking a quarterback in round 1. He goes, which it would be a shock. I think that would be one of those Aaron Rodgers type ordeals where you're sitting there and Jaden Daniels slips to you at 20. I think that's the only way they do it. But, he said late, obviously all positions are on the table. So
I'm going to ask it instead of Brian asking it. Cowboys take a quarterback?
No, I don't. They're going to take care of Dak. They traded for Trey Lance, and they got Cooper Rush back there. So I don't think they do. Okay. I really don't. I mean, they traded a 4, I think, for Trey Lance, and you got Dak. And that team, listen, if they take a quarterback, you're not getting one of the premier guys. You're getting, a guy with a lot of question marks. And for a team that's on the, at least internally, they think they can win a Super Bowl. They're in that window right now to win it all.
They do. Oh yeah, they do. That's right. They do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't take that risk and invest in a quarterback. One, you just don't know how they're going to play, and then you're going to move on from Dak. I think that's
and
really jeopardizing.
Destabilize the quarterback room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you got, like I said, they got Cooper. He's played great when Dak's gone down. Dak was fantastic last season. And then, Trey Lance, he's still an unknown, but 3rd pick overall. And, maybe they eye him as the guy.
What if he's Steve Young?
That's right.
Yeah. They got 3 good quarterbacks. So I don't think they go that route. But, and I guess let me end with this, or not end with it, but, sometimes it's you have an idea, you have your draft board situated, and then a guy falls to you where his grade just exceeds all the other guys on the list. So you're kind of forced, kind of like Rodgers and Favre. It wasn't a need for Green Bay, but Ted Thompson was sitting there that night or that day, that Saturday, and said, "Wow, well, look what this guy, the 2nd pick of the draft, is sitting here at our lap, and we're going to take him." So I think that's, if the Cowboys would do that type of thing, it would be a really terrific prospect that they view. That wasn't necessarily their plan going in. But at the end of the day, it happens. And we'll see that with the running back class. All these teams with very dominant running backs, you're going to start shaking your head saying, why did this XYZ team take this running back? But it's because these running backs are talented, and you're sitting there on the board. You're like, just hypothetically, we can't let Will Shipley past us. It's the 3rd, 4th round. Will Shipley sitting there. We're not taking the 19th best, say, DB. We're taking Will Shipley. So it might not be a glaring need, but in terms of their value and their upside and just how they're graded, I think sometimes these guys, all positions, it's not necessarily the need or what teams thought. It's just where it kind of shakes out, and you got to go with it. You can never have enough good players, put it that way. You can never have enough good guys.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun Thursday night in Detroit and really on into the weekend as we get all 7 rounds in. But, Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Hey, much love to you guys. Stay safe.
Thank you, Bo. We really appreciate it. The draft coming up Thursday night, thanks to Bo Marchant, who joins us every week to talk the NFL. It's still Chevy truck season down at Olive Branch, and it's still where you can go down, and if you want to get charged up at Olive Branch, you can. Come to All-Star in Olive Branch, first exit in Mississippi on Highway 78, Kraft Goodman Road, and test drive one of the new EV Blazers and those Chevy trucks. If you're ready for the new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months and thousands in cash and trade back. New Equinox and Trailblazers with 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Something pre-owned, they have it. Everything you want's there. Jeeps, Tahoe, Suburban, Ram trucks, the Traverse with the third row seating. If it's not on the lot, Jeff and Kevin and Drew and the whole team there, they can find it for you. Teachers, college students, healthcare workers, first responders, military, you get an extra $500 bonus back instantly. Where are you going for graduation, for Mother's Day, spring into summer road trips? Better yet, what are you driving? Need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet. Remember, it's not South Haven, Collierville, Mount Moriah, or Bartlett. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star Chevrolet today in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Burgess. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Burgess Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Looking for an engagement ring that'll really knock her socks off? You need to be at Genesis Diamonds.
It's such a privilege at Genesis Diamonds for us to work with the world's finest designers, to be able to offer brands like Tacori and Verragio, and we're excited to be able to give you something nobody else can.
Genesis Vice President David Cooper.
The craftsmanship, the detail, the quality, the individuality is bar none better than anything else.
Genesis has been selected as an exclusive provider for every top designer from New York and California, with over 4,000 rings to choose from. And if that's not enough, they can create something that's truly one of a kind.
We can custom craft you literally anything you can imagine. We have the capabilities to realize any dream you have. Things that other stores may call new, we've been doing for 3, 4, and even 5 years already.
So don't settle for a ring with a stale design or with inferior craftsmanship. Let Genesis help you get the look, the quality, and the value you deserve.
I'm David Cooper from Genesis Diamonds, and I'm excited to see you in our showroom.
On Poplar at Perkins Extended.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Hey, Mid-South, get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event and get thunderstruck with 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for $18,960 or $269 a month. Or hit the open road in your 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett, $28,350 or $379 a month. And adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett, $32,765 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months Mirage RH00 5921 MSRP 19460, Eclipse RZO 342,249 MSRP 29,350, Outlander RZO 43754 MSRP 33,765, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, plenty to get to today during what's trending. A lot of kind of just different news out there, kind of all over the place. But I did see that the NBA has now officially said that the refs got it wrong in the last 2-minute report from last night's game between the 76ers and the New York Knicks. The NBA acknowledged that there were 3 missed calls, not 1, not 2, 3 missed calls during the wild sequence that led to Dante DiVincenzo's game-winning
Did they get
three.
any right during that sequence?
Well, if they missed 3, I would say they did not get any right.
That's bad.
The report found that Knicks guard Jalen Brunson grabbed Tyrese Maxey's jersey as he went to the ground, the inbound pass with less than 30 seconds remaining. It also determined that the Knicks wing Josh Hart pushed the Sixers All-Star to the ground after he received the ball, which eventually resulted in a turnover and led to DiVincenzo's 3, which we also saw. In addition, the league notes that Philadelphia head coach Nick Nurse's attempt to call a timeout with 27.2 seconds left was either not recognized or not granted by the referees.
But nothing on the Lakers.
No, I have not seen anything on the Lakers, so who knows? I guess that last 2-minute report is out, but I have not seen a story.
Philly got robbed.
Philly 100% got robbed last night. So too bad for them, I guess.
But you can't play they want the big market, because Philly's a big market too.
No, absolutely.
I think it was just humans being humans. They made errors.
They made mistakes.
And that's too many.
And it is way too many. And
we just thought Hunter Wendelstedt was the worst call in New York yesterday.
That's right. Wow, how about that? But there was one even worse.
Head from the Bronx to Manhattan. Let me show you.
Geez. But Philadelphia intends to file grievance with the NBA over the officiating from the first 2 games of the series.
You know where that's going?
Nowhere.
Into the grievance box.
Yeah, never gets anywhere. I mean, it's
only
fun to
grievance
say.
Box in sports that gets opened and paid any attention to is Rob Manfred.
Yeah, and he loves going to that box.
And he goes to it.
He sure does.
And almost any suggestion.
Oh, this one's interesting. Why don't we start somebody at second in extra innings?
Let's try, like after we take a player out, let's let him go back in.
Yeah.
Do you know I spontaneously combust when that happens?
Oh, that will definitely be forget trying to get through a couple of months without saying anything bad. I mean,
it could be bodily harm.
It could be.
I
really
could cause a fire wherever
yeah.
I am.
Yeah. No, I believe it. Hopefully,
well, we take a star out and let him get some treatment. What hurts putting him back in for a late inning pitch hit?
You know, I was gonna say that there doesn't seem to be an argument that you could even make, but that argument sounds like something I could hear from baseball.
Here it is. People paid to see the stars. He was injured early. We took him out. Yeah. You know, got it wrapped, got it worked out. He got stretched out. Back in. People want to see Bryce Harper pinch hit in the bottom of the ninth.
Jeez. Well, and
that's exactly how they sell it.
And also, I think you're right.
I lose my mind.
Sure, I think you're right.
I'm losing my mind thinking about losing my mind.
You are. We've already seen a couple of times this year where teams are getting down to last player on the bench. This guy's coming. I mean, it's happening.
They chew through.
It sure are. And so
and on these cold nights, he had to go back there and get warm. Right. Brett, come on, what kind of meanie are you? Had to go back there and get warm. You get somebody getting warm. What do you say to that?
Huh.
And and they put it up to where you almost can't.
You've got to
argue against it.
Right.
And we're doing it for the fans, Brett.
That's right. No, I'm not in favor of that, and I'm kind of with you. I think I'll lose my mind if that happens. But I won't put it past them.
Also, this one could cause you to lose your mind because. But Johnny and I will be here for you.
Well, yeah.
Jerry Jones preaching patience as Dak and Lamb deals away. You Cowboy fans, y'all just want too much.
Yeah.
Don't they, Johnny?
They want it. They want the whole world right now.
And they're not going to get it, Johnny.
No, they're not.
We're going to be here for you.
We are. Hey, Brett, the tissues are on standby right next to Brett.
Paper towel. Not
paper
necessarily
towel.
tissue.
But Brian got tissue. We got either or, Brett.
That's my tissue, too.
Look, Jerry Jones can say whatever he wants right now in April, but I'm curious to hear what
January 10th, he's not going to be patient.
Yeah, what kind of song he's singing if we still don't have
that last year in the playoffs when he was so mad. You could read his lips, too. I can't repeat what he said.
No, he was hot. He was really, really hot. Something else that has happened since we started the show. We talked earlier about Jaden Quintons, who now it sounds like Memphis squarely in play for him. Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio earlier, about 30 minutes after we started the show, tweeted out Kentucky was supposed to visit Jaden tonight. They are no longer visiting him tonight. So it sounds like this could come down to Louisville versus Memphis for the 5-star forward. So that's definitely very interesting. We mentioned it earlier.
First game starter? Or how developmental?
I think we got to wait and see what the rest of the team looks like. I probably won't want to throw him out there as your day one star. But if he's ready, he's ready. If he comes in and looks the part, then yeah. But, I mean, heck, Jalen Duren reclassified and came in and was day one star. Now, he was not as young, but he was very raw, but was in there and gave you a good minute. You could definitely see it. So if he comes in the same way, then I think absolutely you start him. We'll just have to see, but he'll be here over the weekend, Friday and Saturday for a visit. So we'll maybe see Monday or Tuesday. We're talking about a big time addition for the Tigers.
I don't know anymore the selling points. I don't know what Louisville could sell that, hey, you got to come here instead of there.
Sure.
Or the other way. I don't know what Memphis, other than playing time, but you're going to play at both places.
Yeah, you can play anywhere. When you're that high of a recruit, you're going to play.
5-star doesn't do it for me like it used to.
Certainly not, especially with the transfer portal is. I mean, heck, you saw Cal last year brought a couple of 5-star that are going to be drafted this year off the bench the entire season. So it really doesn't mean much. So it's interesting. But I do, as much as I hate to say it, Pat Kelsey has done a fantastic job at Louisville building his roster for year one. And, I won't put it past him picking up this another big pickup and would be.
Wasn't the most sensational hire.
No, but I do think it's gonna pay off for them. I love what he's doing. He's got energy. He's got a certain spunk about him that you don't see with a lot of other guys. And I think
Louisville's in the wilderness.
Big time. They sure are. But I think that's a huge hire for them, and I think he's done a really good job. I think they're gonna be really competitive next year.
I'm ready for final schedules will start coming out. It'll be a while be August before we get that, but we know the Tigers non-conference, and it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. No, it's going to be unbelievable. I mean, we've talked about it, and it feels like that's pretty set. As long as
I'll take 11-2 again.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. I think you take that every year, no matter what the non-conference schedule.
Pass on going to Maui over that.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's going to be a good schedule, and it's going to be with what Penny Hardaway's putting together so far. Obviously, a lot still needs to come together for this roster, but it's going to be a really good roster, I think, facing a really good non-conference schedule.
Because even down to 9-4, it gives you no room for error in that AAC, and
that's right.
It's been a lot of error.
There has been a lot of error, and you just can't do that this year. I mean, we saw what it got them last year. I mean, a team that was number 10 in the country and looked unbelievable in non-conference play, all of that was for naught.
Are you surprised at all the transformation with the Alabama roster? You go to the Final Four, and it's a lot of changes. Is that just everywhere?
I think that's just everywhere. I mean, I think you
got to be able to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could say the same thing about Duke. I mean, they get to the NCAA tournament. You got a young coach with a young roster. You're bringing in more reinforcement. Literally, we've barely crowned UConn national champion before we're coming out and saying Duke's preseason number 1 next year, and then you see most of the roster's now gone. I think that's just what college, especially college basketball, because you see a lot of turnover in college football, but you can do that because the roster's so big. College basketball, you lose 4 guys, and now it's a desert out there.
I don't like doing this. I really don't. But I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Go for it.
I think my comparison of UConn is Scotty Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler's UConn, it's right on.
It's a good one.
They're so good, but they're so blasé.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean,
we have not celebrated UConn winning.
Not at all.
It really started that day with the Cal news.
Sure.
I mean, that kind of took a lot of their limelight.
Yeah, so much for Cal wanting to wait.
And in Hartford, they're talking.
Sure.
That's a million miles. But I don't think they got celebrated at all. We got to next year really quickly.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
And that's the funny part of Cal after getting hired and doing everything with Arkansas with his press conference and everything. He does that podcast with one of their university outlets and says, well, I really just wanted to wait because I did not want to put myself in front of the national championship, something they've worked so hard to get. But then again, does it the next day.
Kentucky didn't either.
Does it the next day, and we don't talk about the national championship at all because he blocks out the sun.
And UConn, how much changes have they had?
Yeah, they're losing some guys to the draft, but haven't lost a lot to the portal, but have added some good pieces, I think. So
but a lot of coaches want to be the next Hurley.
Sure. Oh, and I think there's a lot of fan bases out there that want their coach to be
for that.
Yeah, the next Hurley of kind of the way I know.
Not to splash you some hires.
No. But just get in there, get to work, get the job done. And I know like Johnny Radio in the mornings. He's been hearing what Dan Hurley has kind of said on this kind of media tour he's been on since the national championship of kind of how he built his roster, how he likes to build it. And John Harden has been saying the entire time, that's what I wish Memphis would do. That's what I wish my coach would do.
There's your guidebook.
To bring, to get his team together. And so I think there's a lot of fans out there.
Here's
that
the way.
There. Yeah. And so, and Dan Hurley's not shy on how he's built his team. I mean, he's going out there saying, look, this is what we target. These are the guys we went after and got, and that's how we got our back-to-back national championship
Whose textbook are people following in college football? If Danny Hurley's the way to follow in hoops.
Jeez.
Kirby?
I would think probably Kirby, yeah.
Yeah, probably now Kirby.
Maybe the most unheralded one-loss year ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Losing the SEC championship game, and you forget everything else they did.
The cliff, yeah.
And I know Ole Miss lost to Alabama and to Georgia, but Georgia was the best team.
Oh, yeah.
I saw all year. I know Bama beat them and played well in the SEC championship game, and I didn't think it would be close.
Well, and that's
quite a win.
That's the thing. I mean,
but Georgia got forgotten.
Oh yeah. When I remember watching that game, Ole Miss versus Georgia, and going, man. I mean, Georgia is just unbelievable. And I remember you coming in that Monday and just saying, oh man, Georgia is far and beyond any other team in college football. And then they lose one game, a conference championship game.
To Alabama and Nick Saban.
To Alabama, and it's Dunsville. I mean,
it really was.
You're lost. So, no, that's an interesting question. I definitely think it's got to be Kirby. But what both those coaches have done have been really unbelievable at those schools.
I would have said Harbaugh till he
Sure,
left for the pros.
Sure, that'd be another really good one. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choates will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choate's special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93 or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choates today at 347-8086 or visit us online at choateshvac.com. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, I learned today that the refs got it wrong last night in the Knicks and 76ers game. The last 2-minute report confirmed that there were 3 missed calls in that final sequence that gave the Knicks a win. We talked earlier, I mean, that's how quick it can go from a 1-1 series to a 2-0 series. Now, the 76ers go back home and have to look in the mirror and say, we're down 2-0. We drop one here in what has been a really competitive series. We drop one here, now you're down 3-1, 3-0. Going back to Madison Square Garden, it just makes it way tougher. If it was 1-1 going back home, that would be, I mean, super ideal for them. Same thing with Denver and the Lakers, but the fact that this came down to officials missing plays, you got to know that entire 76ers fan base, that entire 76ers organization has not happy about that at all.
I don't blame them. What I learned today, Rory McIlroy, make up your mind. I know you want to be loved, but this is not how you do it. Rory was going to live. Now Rory back to the PGA Tour Policy Board. Rory was roaring mad at the Ryder Cup going after people. He wants the fans' adoration, adulation, and he's constantly in a knot over it. He wants to be liked, and that's why he's all over the place. Take a stand.
Take a stand. Pick a side. What I could have done without, was reported earlier today, Giannis Antetokounmpo will be out again in the second game against the Pacers. He missed the first one. Now, the Bucks did win that game, and a lot of it had to do with the 35-point first half from Dame Lillard. Does Dame Lillard do that again in Game 2? I highly doubt it. Now, he could go off for 30 points, but they're definitely going to need a lot from him if they want to win another one against the Pacers tonight.
I could have done without LeBron cussing everybody out last night after the game. He's Mr. Cool, Mr. Unflappable when they win. When they lose, not so much. AD was mad. LeBron irate. They're down 0-2. They're not very good. Get over it.
Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to crypto for Mavs at Clippers. Dallas better get this one, or they'll have to take both games when they get back to Dallas for 3 and 4.
That's going to be a fun one. Beam me later tonight. You know what? Beam me to Predators Canucks tonight in hockey. I'm wearing my Toronto Maple Leafs sweater today. They got the big win last night.
Nashville.
Vancouver tonight, back in Nashville this weekend. But Predators went up 2-0 against the Canucks in the first game, but then Canucks came storming back to win that one. I think 3 goals in the last period for them. So maybe Predators.
Question. You have to have a passport to go to Canada, or can you? Is it free? Passing in and out.
I think you have to have a passport.
Yeah, you had to have a passport.
Sure. Yeah, I've never been out of the country, don't own a passport. So
I've never been to Canada.
I'm not the person to ask that question. But some really good games tonight in both the NBA and I guess if you're a hockey guy, NHL, but also a really good slate of games in baseball.
15 baseball games, best record in baseball. Cleveland, it's
how about that?
7-27 baseball, 16-6, and we're still looking for that 1-1 series in the NBA. You're going to see the Tigers. I'm going to see the Redbirds.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun night for both of us for baseball, but definitely a fun night of sports in general. So everybody enjoy the night. Again, those NBA games tonight, 2 of them on TNT, 1 on NBA TV. But it should be a fun night. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.